None of us knows what the future holds. And nobody really knows jack squat about what the hell's going to happen in NFL games because you think you know stuff and then you don't know nothing. Right? Isn't that what the NFL teaches you? You think you like why do so many this is what I was talking about. Momentum, carrying momentum. Oh, now they got momentum. Carry it over to the next game. No, you carry it over, you play like garbage. There's no momentum carried over to next game. There's momentum maybe within the game, but there's no momentum to carry over to next game because these guys are human beings and they go home and they do whatever they do when they're not at the facility, and then they come back to the facility, and then they travel to New York City, and then Mark Murphy goes to a stop at a giant, New York Packer bar, blah blah blah, with Packer fans who were super excited to see the Packers play in New York, and then they play like shit. No, there's no momentum game to game. Cut it out. Every game is different. Every game. That's how it goes. And you can feel it. If you've ever played football at any level, you can tell. We had games. I know it was high school. I know it's a very different atmosphere. But I'm telling you, we had games where we just tore it up, and then we went into the next game and we're playing like trash. And everybody's looking around like, why are we playing like trash? Nobody knows. You don't know why. You're just not playing good that day. That's how it goes. I'm hoping that's all this was from the Packers. Just a bad day, not a trend that they're going to be bad in future games. That's my hope. Anyway, Ben, how are you?
Tired and crabby. What's up?
That's where I'm at too. However, as we start off with a lot of shows, I talk about the beer. Now, there's a little story behind this beer. This is the Giant Jones. You got to check it out because look at this one.
Dwarf beer?
Dwarf beer. Except normally they do Belgian style. This is a British style barley wine. And that's why I didn't almost buy it because I was like, I don't really want wine or barley wine. But then I looked up what is barley wine after I'd already bought this and found out that barley wine is beer. It's beer.
I want to just call it beer.
18th century British, that was what they called it, beer, because it normally has a higher alcohol content that is close to wine. That's why they call it barley wine, because the alcohol content. But right on here in very small print that was too small for me to read without my glasses, it says a substantial ale.
Whoa.
Substantial. All right. Anyway, so I'm going to drink the dwarf beer tonight and hope it makes me happier. What are you doing? You got a haircut. Your haircut looks pretty good.
Well, you know.
And your beard looks pretty good. You got like a trimmed beard and trimmed hair. What the hell's going on over there? You're looking all trimmed.
No, I quickly did a quick zoopity zoop on because the hair was getting, you got a couple of randoms.
Got the high cheeks.
And I'm too lazy to actually just shave everything.
Okay.
But that'll happen sometime soon.
All right, fair enough.
I'm lazy. I don't want to shave. What are you talking about?
I don't know what you do. Hey, Rick's here. He's all excited about his Raiders. Trash. Can't score a goddamn point against the Vikings.
Can't help us. Why couldn't you save some of them points, Rick? Spread them out over a couple weeks, at least 2, maybe 3 weeks. You would have won 2 more games, 3 more games then.
God. But then all the points last night. Raiders going bonkers.
Brandon Staley is canned.
Brandon Staley
is the general manager of the Chargers is canned.
Did you see him run off the field last night?
No, I didn't watch the game. I was doing stuff.
I didn't watch the game much either, but I saw the very end of it. So I looked at the score and I was like, what the hell? And then I turned it on. So I'm like, what's going on over here with the Raiders? And then I saw like the end of it, the last 5 minutes or whatever. And then Brandon Staley, that was a pretty quick post game on the field. And then he's like going like, crap. I'm a defensive coach and my team just gave up that many points and we have not won enough games for every year I've been here. I know I'm done. I'm toast. I'm toasted. He knew it. And it's deserved. He does a lot of dumb crap and his team underachieves.
That was a complete embarrassment.
Yeah.
I didn't even see it. Just the score. Just seeing the score equals he's got to be fired. He should have been fired a long time ago. But
damn. Oh, Rick likes my barley wine. I didn't even know it was beer until I looked it up after I bought it. All right, whoa. David. Hey, guys, that's how smart I am. Or not smart. David's here. Rick's here. A couple other people hanging out. Okay, we got some big show to go to. Again, we couldn't do the Wednesday show because my kids had a holiday concert, singing concert. We go to those things. And it went kind of long. It was kind of a long one because they take all the schools, that middle school and high school together. So it was a long one. They did well, but that took up a lot of my night, so I couldn't do a show that night. So we got to pack it in tonight. Ben's got some things, a couple things to go over. I got a couple of questions and a myth to bust. So where do we start, Ben? We starting with something you got to talk about, or you got a video, or what do we start with?
What do you want to? I don't know.
And then I have
pick a topic, and I'll see if what's a topic you're upset about.
I have a happy ending when it's all said and done. What am I upset about? Okay, we start with the myth. You want to go with the myth? I heard over and over. Okay, hey, Joe Barry still sucks. Actually, you know what the other thing we're gonna do is we got to go to.
I'm sorry, JJ.
It's not Joe Barry, is it? Sometimes.
Well, he sucks. He's not good, but it's not him.
But answer the question of this. Did anyone else recall this from Matt LaFleur's post-game presser? Okay. At least he wasn't pissy to the point where he was being a baby pissy that was throwing everybody else under the bus and his players and stuff. He was pissed and pissy, but he was at least kind of getting through it without doing all that damage that he did previously earlier in the season. But someone asked him specifically about the play in the third quarter where it was 3rd and 9 or 3rd and 11, close to that, somewhere around there, right? And everybody was 15 yards back, and all Tommy DeVito had to do is throw a check down swing in the flat to his tight end or whatever, and they got the first down before anybody could even tackle him. And then that play ended up resulting in a touchdown.
That play or that drive?
No, that drive. I'm sorry. So that play got a first down, and then that drive turned into a touchdown, and you could have got off the field there, but you did absolutely nothing to pressure him. You did absolutely nothing to throw off any timing. You didn't even have guys up close. You just sat way back for whatever reason, and that was the theme of the night. That's the thing that drives me craziness, and maybe that I don't know if you're leading. There's one of the things you want to talk about, but the fact that we had a safety 20 yards deep on every play, and they backed up all the time, and we had corners playing off against Tommy DeVito quarterback and a bunch of Giants receivers other than Wan'Dale Robinson, who I told you about a couple of years ago that I wanted the Packers to draft, who's pretty good and pretty fast. What are they worried about getting beat for? What are you doing? You're making the game way too easy. I don't understand it. And there's like this thing where the Packers do and under Joe Barry specifically, it's done this where they play the same against. They call those soft defenses against like really good quarterbacks, and then they call them against crappy quarterbacks. And if you also recall last year in the in England, they did the same damn thing. Daniel Jones, they're playing Daniel Jones, and they backed off, and it was like they're worried about getting beat deep. Why would you be worried about getting beat deep by this Giants quarterback and these Giants receivers? I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Not only do you not get that, but they repeatedly did a 4-man rush and with no stunts.
Stunts.
Just beat the guy in front of you. Don't even worry about where the quarterback is. Like there was no plan. The pass rush was no plan. Everybody all week they're like, Giants gave it up 69 sacks this year. DeVito alone has gotten sacked 26 times in the previous 4 games. We're going to eat. Gary's going to have another 3-sack game again. Because he's only got 9 sacks this year. He's got 2 games with 3 sacks in him apiece.
Yeah.
One of them was against the crappy Lions, against Jared Goff, who stinks. And the other one was against Patrick Mahomes, I think. No, who was it? It was earlier than that. It was some other crappy
line. Team. They had a garbage line. The Saints, I think.
The Saints. Yeah, the Saints.
Yeah.
And then otherwise, he had like 3 other ones sprinkled in here and there. But the thing that's the dumbest is it's not JJ's talking about blitzing. It's not about blitzing. It's not necessarily about blitzing. What it's about is understanding what your job is and working together. Now, I don't know. I don't want to get too in the weeds on this yet because I want to talk about it later. But what I will say is, let's look at some. You want to look at some plays?
I do, and I want to say David said real quick they made that QB look like the Italian Stallion.
Yeah, I mean they could have changed his name.
But
Rocky Bart Boa, Barf Boa.
Yep. Rick says, and Rick points us out, and this is the thing that's probably baffled all the Packer fans. It's the same sort of stuff with several defensive coordinators now. We don't get it. But the other part. Sorry, before we get to the video, really quick, the other part is that Matt LaFleur was asked specifically about that during his press conference, and he said, "Yeah, we can't be playing that far off in that situation. That needed to be corrected." He was also asked about it in the last drive after they got the ball back. And that's also a questionable thing. I don't know if you want to talk about that. I'll let you talk about that. But he also asked about it in the last drive, why they were playing off and soft on those first couple of plays and just giving them free yards and easy ways to get down the field. And he's like, yeah, we shouldn't be playing that far off. That should be corrected. So
Well,
if the coach, if the head coach, I don't know was that the defensive call or was that the player doing it? Like, I don't get it.
They talked to Joe Barry. Joe Barry had a press conference
I
yesterday.
didn't listen to that. Okay, all right.
And in the press conference, he said that in the 2-minute situation, there's not always a chance for him to call the defense, though he didn't really say that, but that's the case. There are rules that they follow, and in some 2-minute situations are different than others, and blah, blah, blah. But he said that it was man that was called on the third down play where Carrington Valentine was playing 25 yards off and gave up the first down, like an 8-yard out route catch for the first down. And he said that he didn't get the communication from the sideline or something on what to play, and he was playing too far off because he's on the other side of the field because he was playing on the Giants side of the field, so he didn't get communication. Except there's somebody else, or a fan, who looked at the All-22 and said that Valentine, with a B, was also playing 25,000 years off on the same exact play. So either Joe Barry is a liar, both corners are stupid, or all the above. But the bottom line is, guys were off, and there's no really good way to say it other than the fact that you can't win. If you're going to do a 4-man rush and then have all of your zone coverage in the back end, or even if it's man coverage and you're that far off, the rush is never going to get to the quarterback in time. He's going to have a free release, and that's why he was 4 for 4 for 50-some yards or whatever and got him into field goal range, because there was no pressure, can't get there fast enough when these guys, he's doing a quick check down or a quick 8-yard out route because guys are so far off in coverage, and by the time the defense even sniffs the quarterback, the ball's gone. And we talked about this in the past. We talked about it in the summer. We talk about it all the time. If you're going to play zone coverage, you have to blitz, and you have to attack, and you have to take away things early. You have to, I don't know. It's just, there's no good way to do it as far as like playing off. You should just never play off. Ever. Unless you're ahead by 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Then sure, then play off and catch everything in front of you. Otherwise, there is zero reason to do it. And you might say, oh, well, Keyshawn Nixon got beat for the big play that got him into field goal range. You're right. He did get beat. But it was a good throw by Tommy DeVito. Do you think Tommy DeVito would make a good throw there when Keyshawn Nixon's playing man coverage? It had to be a good pass. That pass was better than any Jordan Love pass the entire night. By the way, Tommy DeVito, some random guy, undrafted, who knows what, living in his mom's basement, is throwing perfect. Is throwing, played at Illinois, which is the worst state of all, and he threw a perfect pass, which was the best pass of the night. And Jordan Love had multiple bad passes, but that's another. We gotta get out. I'll get into that later. I want to talk about some crappy defense.
All right, crappy defense. But you're right. I mean, the other point is that just you would at least want, against that quarterback going into the game, you'd want to make him make good throws.
That's right. Force him to beat you with his arm. Don't let him sneak out. Don't give the receivers an easy release. Like, how do you disrupt the play? You get on the guy, and you have a 5-yard cushion to smack a guy, and after that, you can't touch him anymore. So if you're sitting 12 yards off, that guy can do whatever the fuck he wants. He's not going to be interrupted. The play's going to go off just the way the quarterback is expecting, and there's no way in hell that the defensive line is going to get a sniff of the quarterback in the time that guy runs his 8-yard out route or any other quick route for that matter. You're giving up easy passes. And then if you have guys who can't tackle, which is what we have, guys who can't tackle, that 8-yard play turns into a 25-yard play or more or less or whatever. It's just, it boggles the mind. If you know your guys suck at tackling, right? You can't do that. You cannot give them an easy release. You have to be on them. You have to disrupt them. You have to grab them. You have 5 yards to do it. You have 5 yards to do it. Do it. Mess up the play. Make it so that this guy in his third start and only or fourth, whatever it is has to like be confused. Don't let him just sit back there and, everything's easy. But I don't want to get into that. I want to play some plays. Let's go. Give me some love here. What do we got?
Here you go.
You got me up? All right, here we go. I don't even know what this is. It's a bad play. Here we go. A bunch of bad plays. Now, real quick, this is all these bad plays were the first half because for some dumb reason, I could not get on the video thing today. All right, so as you're watching this play, you see Robinson go in motion, right? You've got Kingsley Enagbare and McDuffie both blitzing on this play. And you got Campbell in the very middle of the field, and you got Nixon way on the other side of the field. So you've got 13, who's just coming into the screen on the side. You got Wan'Dale Robinson in motion, and you got Saquon Barkley. Those are 3 possible receivers on this play. Now I think this is a running play. It's not. It's a passing play. So now you see 13 coming across the middle of the field. And Devondre Campbell is going to take him away. Now I remember why I wanted to show this play. I want you to watch just something here. Okay, we're going back to the start. Okay, so Devontae Wyatt. Let's take a look here. Devontae Wyatt immediately gets an inside pass rush on the left guard. Okay, which is what I believe he's supposed to do, because then Kingsley Enagbare takes it inside to this side. McDuffie goes to the outside. So they're covering all 3 of these gaps. Okay. The other side, you got 94 Brooks, I think, who is getting double teamed. Though I think the center's going to come off and help out with Wyatt because he's like a Lucas Patrick guy who's smart and knows where the help is needed. And on the other side, Gary gets chipped by the tight end before he tries to make a move on the quarterback. Okay, we're getting all that. Now, as you're seeing, the center came off the help of Brooks, and he's now double teaming Devontae Wyatt. So Devontae Wyatt is way too high. Okay, and he's getting pushed up in the air. Kingsley Enagbare is making no moves, but this is an all-pro left tackle. Okay, and McDuffie is still on his way with a free shot at the quarterback on this side. And Gary is just barely getting away from the tight end at this point. So your pass rush is Devontae Wyatt getting double teamed, and he's got the most penetration out of anybody by far. And that's about it, because McDuffie is too slow to get there and to make anything happen, right? Now, as you see, Wyatt splits the double team, is getting held by this guy. Look at this guy. His back is on him. There's no way he could be staying with Devontae Wyatt unless he's grabbing him and pulling him down. And I want to circle. Here's an official right here at the top of the screen. Here's an official over here at the bottom, at the other top of the screen, right and left. There's 2 of them watching this. Do you think this 63 or whatever number this giant is would be able to stick on Devontae Wyatt's back if he wasn't grabbing onto him somehow?
It's like the ref in the white hat. He's like looking off to the side over there. What the hell is he looking at?
I don't know what they're looking at.
And I'm very disappointed Devontae Wyatt made that big of a move upfield, and Rashawn Gary was still kind of stuck in place there. What the hell is he
Yeah.
doing? Let's go. Come on.
Well, now what happens is because Devontae Wyatt was being held, he and Kingsley Enagbare run into each other. This guy's still holding Devontae Wyatt here, by the way. McDuffie has to go all the way around. And you got three guys all in this one about 3-yard area. And all we got is Wooden, who took an inside track. And Gary, who's, of course, trying to beat his guy to the outside.
Carl Brooks in there. Yep, I got you.
Carl Brooks, right. And now, let's take a look at this. Take a look, Carl Brooks, 94. What's 68 doing? Where's his hand? He's pushing him in the back. That's that's holding. Let's take a look over here at Kingsley Enagbare and look at this guy who's grabbing onto his shoulder pads as he's past him. That's holding. Take a look at Devontae Wyatt, who's laying on the ground because he got freaking pulled down after he beat the guy. He beat two guys and somehow he ends up on the ground. How does that happen? That's holding. But this guy up here is trying to do the splits or something, or he's got big balls, or I don't know what is going on with his arm, with his legs here. This official on the top of the screen. And now it's too late. But look here. You can see this white arm grabbing. White arm grabbing. And of course, our two linebackers are not anywhere near. They're just way behind the quarterback. And Devontae Wyatt's laying on the ground. But he made the play there. Look at that. Kingsley Enagbare gets shoved from behind onto the ground. That's holding. Or it's a block in the back, one or the other. You can't do it. You can't do it.
Right.
Not called. So I don't want to hear any more about, okay, we're going to get into that. But anyways, Kingsley Enagbare, oh, he sucks. No, he got held and then shoved in the back. Wooden beat his guy, tried to get off of him, and the guy grabbed him and shoved him in the back. Devontae Wyatt split a double team. The guy grabbed his belly, pulled him down to the ground. Nothing was called. That's three guys who got held on that play. That's how Tommy DeVito got away. That's how they got away.
JJ says, no doubt O-lines have been holding like crazy this year without calls. Maybe the Packers should try more.
And look at Devontae Wyatt. He's looking for an official. He's like, hey, what the fuck is going on? Look at him. This guy's grabbed my ass and pulling me down. Now, this is the Wildcat play. And the sad part is, okay, there is no quarterback on the field at this point. Saquon Barkley is lined up at quarterback. Okay? Tell me why we have Darnell Savage 15 yards off the ball when Saquon Barkley is lined up at quarterback. Tell me why. Tell me, Jason, what is the reason for this?
I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't know the reason for the safeties being so far back all night. It makes no sense.
Now, question number 2. If this is the case, I can only assume, based on, there should be 6 eligible players then. And since we have Savage 15 yards off the ball, he is out of the play.
Yeah, he's useless.
But there are 6 possible threats on the field. Look at the top of the screen. Valentine's covered on him. Valentine's on the bottom of the screen, not doing anything because this 15 doesn't even bother to try to do anything. Nixon's on the tight end at about the hash mark. Devontae Wyatt looks like he's looking for Saquon Barkley because now that Wan'Dale Robinson has moved to the other side of the field, he has to be responsibility of, just in case Barkley keeps the ball, it goes to the other side. Then Devondre Campbell is stuck here in the middle. He cannot move. That leaves this guy, 31, coming over this way, and Wan'Dale Robinson coming over this way. Now, would you want to have Isaiah McDuffie covering 17? No. So there should be some sort of communication here. But unfortunately, based on the way this play is set up, and Darnell Savage, who's staying back here 15 yards instead of attacking, or should be up here anyway, which would give us another defender, there's nobody left to cover this. But what do we have?
Yeah, I would say if you don't have an actual quarterback on the field, then you should be 0 right here. Like
there's no reason. There's no reason.
Bring Savage up and have him cover 17. Be like, everybody should be on man, so nobody gets lost or forgotten or get an easy one. But Savage should be up to take 17, 100%.
Even if a guy could pass, like let's say Robinson is a good passer or he could sort of pass. There's no reason to have a free safety. Just play man coverage because it'd have to be a good pass for it to be a completed pass when you're playing man coverage. And I doubt a wide receiver or a running back is going to make that play. But the problem is this. So that's the first biggest problem is Savage is 15 yards off the ball. Now, the other problem is this right here.
And he's waiting and he's looking like, what is he doing?
Right. He's not attacked. He should be at the 30-yard line by now.
What the hell?
If this was, by the way, we're going up against Winfield this week. If this was Winfield at free safety, he would already be like probably at the 30-yard line, if not almost in the backfield by now. Even if he started 15 yards back, because he would attack. And now McDuffie read it weird. And here you got Van Ness running into McDuffie. And neither of them are fast enough to catch Robinson anyway, so it really doesn't matter.
Yep.
And then you got a block here, 31 on Owens, and 18 blocking Ballantyne, and that leads to Robinson running for a shit ton of yards. And nobody can catch him except for Savage, who's I mean, this is at half speed, so, he looks slower than it is. And when you look at it from the other angle, you're going to see Van Ness and McDuffie just totally get frozen. Like they don't know what to do. They don't know who has the ball. They don't know who might have the ball. They have no idea what they're doing. They've obviously never practiced for any type of a wildcat situation, and none of them know anything. So Van Ness moves to the inside. He should see. Look at this right now. It's obvious. Saquon Barkley does not have the ball. His hands are on the ground with no ball. And McDuffie freezes. And here's the part that's dumb. When I hit play again, McDuffie is going to take an inside step yet. I don't know why he takes an inside step here. And it's tricky because all the offensive line is moving to the other side of the field.
Yeah, that's so when you're playing, just to quickly give you a defensive lineman's perspective, a lot of times they're not looking at the quarterback or the running back first. In this case, running quarterback. They're looking at the offensive line as their first key. So that's probably what drew Van Ness in, because that was his initial read. Like that's his first key. That gets him going that way. And that's a smart way. It looks like they're trying to bring guys back across to kick them out or get in front of them, but Wyatt's kind of blown that up, which is pretty cool. But in essence, you have two unblocked guys here, and neither of them are aware enough to make the play. It's
and they're
crazy.
at the same exact level.
Yeah.
And like I said, I want you to watch McDuffie. He's actually going to take an inside step here. See that right there? I mean, the ball was gone long before he took that inside step. Now, this isn't half speed. But had he not taken that inside step, he might have gotten there. But when he did take that inside step, that made him get in the way of Van Ness, which slowed him down. Owens can't get off the block. Ballantyne can't get off the block. I mean, this is just ridiculous. This whole play is ridiculous. It should have never happened. We had 5 guys there to make a play, and none of them could do it.
Wow.
Now, I do blame Joe Barry. They should have some sort of plan against a Wildcat, and I'm guessing after this week they will.
Yeah, a week too late. Yeah.
And then this is the Devondre Campbell Frankenstein play. Oh, no, it's not. No, I was wrong. This is not the Campbell Frankenstein play. This is, take a look at this massive humanity up here. I don't know if this is legal, but the Giants just all 3 guys just go out of Lucas Van Ness and just lay on top of him. And then there's 5 Packers who get all jumbled up and fall to the ground all around it. And it's a big mess. And the only guy who's over there is Savage, who we all know he ain't going to do shit. And there you go.
Yeah, you can bury guys like that. That happens. And
okay.
Guys got to be able to get around that mesh. But if they can't.
Well, when you watch it from this angle, you're going to see what happened. This receiver is going to make an inside. The outside receiver is going to make an inside cut, which takes Ballantyne and runs him directly into Savage right here. So you've got Ballantyne running to Savage because the outside receiver is cut on the inside cut, right? The receiver wants to block Savage. Ballantyne should not even be, I mean, it's probably man coverage, and he's supposed to be covering this guy, right? He doesn't know it's going to be a run. So because of that, he's not even worried about that. But the receiver does not want to even touch Ballantyne. The other thing is Campbell, for some reason, goes into this gap because there's a guy coming this way, which is what he should do.
Yeah.
And Van Ness is over here, and he's already getting beat. Look at his butt is behind his foot, which means he's in trouble already. I don't know what happened there. Let's watch that again. See, how does he not get, because he's standing up. Van Ness should never be standing up. He should be in a 3-point stance at all times because he's too tall. He's too tall, and guys get underneath him and shove. Watch right here.
Yeah.
And then boom, another guy runs into him. Now you got all these guys laying on the ground. Yeah, and there's 5 Packers there.
Your only hope is Savage. You have no hope.
So,
jeez,
is that Joe Barry's fault? That Van Ness got his ass kicked, and Ballantyne and Savage ran into each other, and Campbell got stuck in the wash, and Devontae Wyatt got stuck in the wash.
I don't know why they have so much 2-point stance for those outside guys. I mean, 2-point stance, it's supposed to, like, the idea of it is that you're supposed to get a better look at stuff, you know? But when you've got like short yardage situations, you should never have a guy in a 2-point stance.
Yeah.
It's you're setting them up for failure.
So this is a 5-man defensive line with the wide 9 or whatever they call it. And for some reason, Devontae Wyatt and TJ Slayton are doing butt buddies where they're running into each other. They're both doing a move to the same spot, which leaves this giant asshole and this giant asshole.
It's one of the plays Kenny Clark got doubled on. Hey!
So you might as well just have 4 rushers because this is dumb. I don't know what these 2 guys are doing. Okay? And then, of course, Gary just wants to always run around. As you can see here, Devontae Wyatt is once again being held because he tried pulling away and he can't get away. That's called holding, just so you know. TJ Slayton beat his guy. Kenny Clark is trying to run through the double team. Preston Smith dropped back in coverage. So it was a 4-man rush. But because Gary took it all the way around the outside and tried to beat his guy to the outside, because this is pretty good. These 3 guys here.
Good old Preston in coverage. That's a good use of
Preston in coverage. Genius move. But look, like these 3 guys are pretty good. If Gary would have done a bull rush or stayed right where he was, there wouldn't be an escape route here. Maybe there would be a little bit. But it wouldn't be nearly as bad. But now look, Devontae Wyatt, look at that.
I mean, how do you, that's so
Watch
big.
Devontae Wyatt. This happened to Devontae Wyatt the entire game. The entire game, he was getting held. Not once was it called. Look at this. This guy's got his shoulder pads the entire time. Look at this. Not called. I mean, I can't explain it. It's the combination. The reason why DeVito got so many rushing yards was because we're dumb. Gary's dumb. This is a Kingsley Enagbare dumb play where he's just, he's down at the bottom of the screen. He's worried about DeVito. Doesn't go.
That last play in a bunch of these, it's just too easy. It's like a wide open thing. Like you're making it easy for him. Why?
And Savage, of course, is terrible.
Was that Savage coming up for that one?
That's the quarterback. Yeah, and that's the quarterback doing that.
Savage.
That's Tommy DeVito who made Savage look like me.
Chumpzilla, what the hell?
Okay. Let me ask you a question.
All right, ask me.
When you are in this situation, this is a nickel defense. Okay.
Yep.
With 3 defensive linemen and 4 defensive linemen, because I'm going to call Van Ness's defensive lineman because his hand in the dirt, and an outside linebacker, and an inside linebacker, Keyshawn Nixon, Owens, the 2 corners on the outsides. And so it's obvious Savage is not covering anybody, right? There's 3 receivers on this side of the field, which would be the outside corner covered 17. I'm assuming Nick's covering the guy in the slot. Tight end supposed to be covered by Campbell. Then you got Saquon Barkley covered by Owens, and then the outside corner is covering the receiver 18 on this side. So if this tight end moves in motion, Campbell should be moving to that side with him, or at least moving a little bit, right? Because the strength of the off, because now that becomes the strong side, right? Therefore, you need to have more guys over there, because right now we only have 2.
Yep.
Right. So if he goes this way, now I understand, because you see the running back coming this way, so that freezes Campbell. This is a good play. I'm not saying it's not a bad play. It's just a simple handoff. Hold it. It's either you either hand it off or you keep it. And because Igbari is still looking at Saquon Barkley, because they've stopped Saquon Barkley the entire game so far, he has no idea that Tommy DeVito kept the ball. The only guy who knows is Owens. And Owens is ready to come back, but 18 is ready to crack back on him and block him. And Campbell has no idea. Nixon's getting blocked. Everybody's blocked. And we got a free blocker in front of him, and then we got Savage, who overruns and falls on his ass. And, Kingsley Igbari, who hustles all the way from the backside.
Carrington Valentine flops, trying to get the call. There was no call there. There's no foul there.
Yeah, Valentine, he's starting to become a Jair clone to me.
Ooh.
And then here's the Frankenstein, Devondre Campbell touchdown.
I mean,
watch Devondre Campbell.
Oh, God.
He's going to come in and just try to tackle Saquon Barkley with his arms. And then, of course, he completely misses. You're in the hole.
All pro a couple years back.
You're in the hole. Make the tackle.
Unblocked. You know how many times he's actually unblocked on plays? A lot.
You know how many times a lot of guys were unblocked in this game? Like, I just did the couple plays I've shown here. I mean, look at that. You're in the hole. Just get on him.
He's so passive.
He's too passive. He dances. He arm tackles. He's not a good player.
The other thing that's weird from all those clips too, because like people will talk about your base and stuff, and he's like too wide. He's too wide. It's weird because you want to have like a wide base so you can change direction easy enough, and flow as a linebacker and be able to explode if you need to forward or whatever direction. But it's almost like he's so wide that he loses some explosion there and he loses some strength. And then on top of that, that's not his biggest problem. His biggest problem is just mentality. He's just such a passive player. He's such a reactive player, not instinctive player, that he's always a half step behind. And when you're a half step behind in the NFL, you're beat. And then if you don't use good technique and get your head out in front, then you look like that. That's just what it is. It's ridiculous. JJ is talking about, I hope Campbell is gone. We find a stud middle linebacker to play with Walker. Well,
we don't need a stud.
You know what people are saying, Ben? Patrick Queen is light bulbs come on for him this year, and he's looking like a monster. Once they got Roquan Smith to pair with him, it's like unleash something in the guy. And that was the guy we wanted the Packers to draft
instead of Jordan Love.
Yeah, in 2020.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you got a beef coming out of that, or is that your next video?
It's halfway through my next video. That was going to be a beef. So if you have something else you want to bring up, go ahead.
I have.
But my next video is going to be defense, though. So if you want to keep defense beef or talking about something, don't switch to offense just yet.
Mine is more of a general. Mine is more of a general thing.
That's cool. Generalize it.
The general thing is the common myth, the quick thing that was initially spoken after this game, which is it's a young team. Young team is you're gonna have this up and down, and you're gonna have this volatility. And I told you so. And everybody knew coming into this season with a young team, you're gonna have your highs and your lows. And one week it's gonna look great, next week it's gonna look terrible. Except as we have shown numerous times, just even by looking at some of the film. And is Keyshawn Nixon a young player? He made a huge mistake in this game on a punt return.
That was terrible.
Is Devondre Campbell a part of the young team
But see, but
No,
this is the difference, though. I'll say this real quick. The difference between Keyshawn Nixon and Devondre Campbell is night and day. Because Keyshawn
sure.
Nixon, he's going to screw shit up. He's going to.
I get
But
it.
he also goes out there 9 times out of 10 and he's going crazy and he's doing something good. But he does screw up. He's going to. That's his way. He's a very volatile player. But he's aggressive and makes plays. Campbell never makes aggressive plays. Ever.
Mm-hmm.
So he never makes a huge screw up that anyone ever sees, right?
Except when he can't find the ball in the air and he's
Right, but
covering
that's
the guy
not
and he
something that
crashes
anybody ever notices.
Right.
No one talks about how, Devondre Campbell couldn't find the ball. Devondre Campbell couldn't get to the hole. Like, we talk about it, yes, but a regular fan, they don't talk about it. They still say Devondre Campbell was an all-pro. That's all you ever hear. Oh, I can't wait till Quay Walker gets back. It's a shame that they haven't been on the field together. That would be the difference. No. But anyway, okay, back to Keyshawn Nixon.
No, but it's not
myth.
just. I'm just saying that the bunch of the people who have underperformed or made mistakes. Elton Jenkins with a huge holding call in this game, like they're not the young guys. So this up and down, and Jordan Love's not a young guy either. He's a vet. I know he's a first year starter, but should know this offense like the back of his hand, right? I mean, shit. What was he doing the last 3 years? Other than picking up bad mechanic habits from Aaron Rodgers, what was he doing the last 3 years? He should know.
Let's not get to there yet.
He should know this offense.
Let's not get to that yet.
But technically, he's a veteran player. All these guys, veteran players. Even Patrick Taylor's a veteran player who doesn't go out of bounds when he should.
Patrick Taylor, I gave him my silent but deadly a couple weeks ago, and I retract it. I take that stinky fart and bring it back inside of me because he is terrible.
All I'm saying is a bunch of the issues, a bunch of the major mistakes that happened in this game were not by the young players. We're not by the rookies. And even the second-year guys. I mean, they were. But a bunch of the major mistakes were by these veteran guys who are in their second contracts who are getting some pretty good money. What the F, man? That's all. So I just need to squash that because that's the easy out, right? When you're going to talk about, the Packers played like garbage and they've been doing really good. That's the easy out for all these talking heads and everybody else is to just say, it's a young team. Then we don't have to think and actually analyze it.
Right. They don't analyze. They don't watch the game. They don't really know what the hell they're talking about. All that. That's true.
Video's up. What you got?
Okay. We're at half speed here. Oh, something weird's going on. Okay. This is good defense. Now, I unfortunately, I'm just going to disclaimer real quick. I was not able to, like I said, I wasn't able to watch the second half of the show or get the all 22 for the second half of the game. So all these plays are from the first half. So all the plays I showed in the first video was the first half. And I know a lot of people are talking about the second half and how the defense gave up the last drive and blah, 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 and played like crap. Well, you know what? In the first half, they kind of got put in some shitty-ass positions and only gave up 7 points. And Saquon Barkley, Matt LaFleur said it himself. He said there were 4 running plays in the game. Tommy DeVito run, which I showed. The Rondale Robinson run, which I showed. The Saquon Barkley one where he fumbled, and then another Saquon Barkley one. You take those 4 plays away, that was 109 yards rushing on just those 4 plays alone.
Right. Because that was the other narrative that was like, they gave up over 200 yards rushing again. Oh, they're terrible at run defense. Well,
but the rest of the game, they played pretty dang good. They played pretty good. So here's a play. I don't remember what happens on it. Well, let's take a look. I just put down good defense, so we'll see if it's actually good defense. Oh, it's Van Ness. Okay, here we go. So this is the one time in the first half where the Packers did a stunt. And I like it because when they didn't do the stunts, what we saw was a guy going straight, a guy trying to beat the guy in front of him, and then a guy goes all the way to the outside, and it left a big hole to run through, right? If you do a stunt, you have one player taking out 2 blockers, and the other guy is going in the hole. So there is no hole for the quarterback to escape here because there's 2 guys getting smacked out of the way, and they're taking up a lot of space. And then Van Ness is going to come around and fill that hole. And on the bottom of the screen, there's another stunt between Kenny Clark and TJ Slayton, I think. And I think Kingsley Barley drops back in coverage. I can't remember exactly, but we'll take a look here. Okay, so TJ Slayton just goes straight through the double team.
I love that. Aggressive just move to split that by Slayton. He's going to cause a problem there because then.
Right, which is awesome. So on the bottom of your screen, you got the stunt with Kenny Clark and Kingsley Barre. or on the left of the screen. On the right of the screen, you've got Brooks and Van Ness coming around. You've also got Savage coming in the hole for some reason. I don't know what's going on with that. Now, as we're looking here, 18 is blocking Savage in the back. That's a penalty. That is a penalty, folks. So technically, there should have been a flag on this play. There was not. There was no freaking, like, the Giants were not called for, like, I don't remember being called for a holding. Maybe one. Block in the back. None of that. They would do it the whole game. Our guys are getting around them, and you're going to watch Savage fall to the ground because 18 shoves him to the ground. But luckily, Van Ness is here, and he just takes up the whole freaking lane and makes a tackle. With the help of Brooks there, too. But that's how, if you stunt, you have a free guy in the hole, which could have maybe eliminated some of those Tommy DeVito runs because the offensive line of the Giants can't block and hold you.
Yeah, right. And they get screwed. Well, look at that guy already. Kenny Clark, he's already hugging him. He's got his arm wrapped around him within 1 second.
The entire game, dude. The entire game this shit was going on.
Jesus.
Not called once. I don't quite get it. Now, I understand it's, but I mean, I hope to God that Matt LaFleur is complaining about this shit, but I don't know. But yeah, Kenny Clark has got the guy beat. This guy's trying to go to the second level already, right? This play looks like it's going to be bad news, but we got to watch TJ Slayton over here because he makes this play. Watch him. That's all TJ Slayton. He held up that guard, forced Saquon Barkley to slow down a little bit, and then when Saquon Barkley switched aside to go around, TJ Slayton shred the block, made the tackle. Genius. This play, we're going to watch some Isaiah McDuffie. He's lined up right at about the top of the Giants' helmet here. I'm circling him with my cursor. This is going to be a running play to the top of the screen. McDuffie's going to just knife through there and make a tackle for a loss because he reads it and he recognizes it. Now he's right about at the eye on the Giants' helmet sign. He beats 67. 67 can't get to him. There's all this mess. And he goes straight into the whole thing. And Igbari is trying to turn around for some reason, probably because he saw that Saquon Barkley was cutting into that hole. So he's trying to spin around and make a tackle. But Barkley is now going to try to go around it to the outside. But McDuffie is so quick into the hole, he beats him there and slows him down. And TJ Slayton's there as well. Now, when you watch it from the other angle, you're going to watch how good TJ Slayton does on this play. TJ Slayton's lined up right in the middle here. You want to watch him. So he shoves the center, holds him off, which allows McDuffie to get that open hole. Now, the Giants are holding up a pretty good wall here. They took Brooks and they just shoved him out of the play. There's not much he can do there. So he really needs Slayton to keep his eyes. And his eyes are on Barkley right now. He knows what's going on. And you're going to see McDuffie get in there and kind of miss it. He's trying to get him down. And TJ Slayton helps out with the last little bit of it. And that's just good run defense, which is something they did all game long. Here's another McDuffie play. He's lined up right in the middle. He's going to stay off the block, just make the tackle. The key is keep your eyes on the ball. And that's one of the things McDuffie does. And when you go back and watch this, you're going to see how Campbell actually kind of read it too.
What?
Because he's in there. He actually beats the guy and gets in the backfield, but he doesn't do anything. Watch Campbell. He shoots the gap. He's in the middle. Oh, no, he's not. He got in a wash. I was wrong. But still,
he got
good
blocked.
Plays.
He got blocked, but he was there. He was there to say, "Good job, AJ." AJ. Good job, Isaiah McDuffie. That's what he's good to say after that.
All right,
Devondre Campbell, not making many plays once again.
Now it comes time. It comes time for the beef. We're gonna play some plays first. I'm gonna play 3 plays.
It's almost time. Okay,
it's almost time. We're going to watch 3 plays in a row. It's Devontae Wyatt. Oh, wait, no, this is something else. What the crap? All right, this is something else. I don't know what it is.
I was probably on third.
That's a bad play.
Short. Why are we screwing around there?
Yeah,
Like,
I want to be positive. I don't know how this got out here.
because it
I
wasn't
don't know.
Saquon Barkley out there, and they played. Oh God.
Yeah, this makes no sense. Look at
Wasn't
this.
hold on? Wasn't Jeff? I'm getting Jeff Hostetler flashbacks here.
Yeah,
DeVito
he's
wears
50.
Hostetler's old number. No wonder
Here's
he's good. No wonder he's good. Freaking Jeff Hostetler was pretty good.
Look how dumb this is, by the way.
Remember Hostetler in the Raiders uniform?
Yes, but look at this, Jason. Look at this.
What am I looking at?
What's wrong with this picture?
Devondre Campbell doing nothing again.
Yes, but what else?
The wide guys are way too wide. How are they going to get there on 3rd and short? What are we doing here? What are they defending on 3rd and 1?
Well, here's the other problem. There's no back in the backfield. Yet
Yeah.
we've got 5, 6 guys here, which means there's 5 eligible receivers and there's only 5 guys covering them.
Yeah. Well, Devondre
3rd and
Campbell's
short.
got to worry about those running legs of Tommy DeVito.
Oh, he does
at
have
this
to.
point.
He does have to.
What the hell are we doing? And you're not going to stop Saquon Barkley from getting a couple of yards right there and getting the first down?
No.
Jesus.
That was a good play by the Giants. All right.
Only guy to stop that is traded away.
Now we're watching Devontae. That's what it was. That's why I put it on there. You're right. You're right.
What?
You're right. You're exactly right. Let's watch it again from this angle, and you'll see what I was talking about. Right there. Look at Ballantyne. He's standing passive, waiting for something to happen.
What's he doing? Go
If
get
that
that
was
guy.
if that was Rasul Douglas, he would be attacking, and making the tackle. Because Savage is getting double teamed.
Rasul Douglas is better than Corey Ballantyne?
Yeah. What? Yes.
I know. I'm just kidding.
That's why I showed this play. Thank you for reminding me. Because I'm just like, if that was Rasul right there, done. But look at him. He just pussyfoots. Do you know where the first down marker is, guy?
It's a great trade.
You're not stopping him.
Great
You're
trade.
not stopping him.
I loved it from the second they did it. What a great move.
We're watching Devondre Campbell. He's lined up on the left. He's actually lined up on the left tackle, who's the Pro Bowl left tackle. Watch him. Watch him right here. Boom. Let's watch it again. I love that.
Wait, you told me to watch Devondre Campbell. I watched him do nothing.
Oh,
so
shit.
Wait, who was I supposed to watch? Devontae Wyatt?
No, not Devondre Campbell. Right
Devontae
here.
Wyatt, the 3 tech? Okay.
Wyatt, right here. He's on the left tackle, the all-pro left tackle.
Yep.
Watch him. Right here. 78, 95, 78, right here. Boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
Watch him. Holds him up. Read Saquon. Stays on the outside. Tackle.
He covered up,
Wyatt.
He covered up the gap that Devondre Campbell left to go outside.
Yeah.
Nice job, Devontae Wyatt.
Let's watch Devontae Wyatt this play. He's over. Now he's on the other side. He's on the right guard.
Lee says...
What does Lee say?
Lee says Ballantyne had no business being out there. Hard to ask much of him. Thanks, Goody. LOL.
Okay. Let's take a look. Here's Devontae Wyatt right here. 68. Hands to the face.
Ah, damn, hands to the face.
Was it called? Hands to the face. The guy's hand is on his face mask. That's a penalty. Not called.
What is it? As a side note, what is it with? Because didn't AJ Dillon get like a clear face mask again in this game, and they didn't call it? Like, what is it with Packer running backs that just get like face masks and they don't call it?
Watch Devontae Wyatt's helmet get shoved back as he's getting around this guy. Watch. Look at that. You see that?
I did. And Devondre Campbell unblocked again. Saquon, is he going to handle him? Look at, he's already stopping. Why is he stopping?
Well, because
what the fuck?
Saquon doesn't have the ball.
I don't care. Like, he should blow him up. Like, Ben,
I know.
when you're a linebacker, an inside linebacker who's supposed to be a tackler, and you are on the move because you're actually attacking the play, and then that guy doesn't have the ball, you blow him up. You just blast him right there. You don't slow your whole momentum down to let him just sidestep you and block you? What is that? Come on. Devondre Campbell is terrible, you guys. I'm sorry. He's terrible.
Well, he's getting blocked by Saquon right now, but let's take a look at Wyatt again. Look at this guy.
He beat him.
So not only did he get hands to the face, get his helmet shoved back, beat the guy, now he's getting tackled by him or bear hugged, which is holding. So hands to the face should have been called. Holding should have been called. Nothing. And almost gets him, but then he gets away. Well, why do you think Tommy DeVito got away? Because he was getting fucking held.
And because Devondre Campbell didn't blow up the running back. If he blows up the running back and pushes him back into him, it closes that gap down. But Devontae Wyatt, this is just proven to me, he is the right player for the Packers. Because when it cools down and he is conditioning, he doesn't have to worry about getting too hot. He's lighting them up when the cold weather. Devontae Wyatt, let's do it.
Let's watch Devontae Wyatt again. Now he's lined up with the left tackle and the left guard right here at the top of the Giants helmet. Devontae Wyatt again. Takes on the left tackle, holds him up, sheds the block, makes the tackle. Perfect technique against the run. Perfect technique.
Wyatt says Wyatt is that dude.
Yes, Wyatt. But you know what the narrative has been this week? Hit the beef. Hit the beef.
Oh, it's time? Okay, it's time. I got to get to it. It's way down here at the bottom. Man, I got a beef to pick with you.
You want some beef or what?
Yo, what's your beef?
Come on, man. I have no idea who that voiceover person was, but damn, they're good.
It's the same voice every time. You're terrible. Anyways, I got a beef. My beef is with all of the Twitter Packer fans, with the reporters on the beach. Stop it with the music. I'm in the middle of my beef. You're ruining it. Do you know what the narrative has been this week? Devontae Wyatt got a 93.1 PFF grade for this game. I just showed. I don't know how many games.
I thought he was 87.8.
Okay, maybe it was 83.1 or whatever. Maybe it was 83.1. Whatever.
No, it was 87. It was it was either
whatever.
80,
it was really good.
80, really good. Yeah, really good.
It was the best grade by a Packer defender in this game. I just showed you. I don't even know how many. I just showed you 3 in a row. Then I showed you a bunch earlier where Devontae Wyatt beat the guy, did some crazy shit. Was awesome. Getting held, getting shoved, getting grabbed, not called all game. Yet he was freaking disrupting the play over and over and over and over. And you know what the narrative is this week?
I don't get it.
Why is it that Devontae Wyatt can get so many pressures, but he never quite gets the sack? He never quite gets there and actually makes the play and gets the quarterback down. It's great that he gets all the pressures, but he doesn't get the sack. And that's a negative. They're using it as a negative story.
Huh.
For Devontae Wyatt.
Oh. Okay.
Now, not only did I show you him disrupting plays and doing awesome stuff and nobody else doing shit, that's the same thing Kenny Clark has been doing for 7 or 8 seasons. Beating the guy in front of him once or twice a game and then doing nothing. That is the Kenny Clark rule. That's what he does. Yet nobody talks about that. They just say how he's so great. Well, Kenny Clark, he's a slow burn. That's Andy Herman's great thing. Well, Kenny Clark, he's kind of a slow burn, but he's so great. I love to watch Kenny Clark. Really love to watch Kenny Clark do nothing.
He's a slow burn. They just take the burn part out. He's slow and get rid of the Kenny Clark. He's slow. How about that?
How the hell can people be bitching about a guy who got 9 pressures in this game, who obviously proved he was dominant in the game, made a bunch of plays, should have got about 7 penalties called on the freaking offensive line of the Giants, which nobody's talking about other than me.
Legit.
And the story is, he seems to beat the guy, but he can't make the play. That's Kenny Clark's story. Except he only does that twice a game. Devontae Wyatt did it 9, 10, 11, 12 times in this game. Except guess what? He did make the play in the running game. Kenny Clark beats this guy, and then he's nowhere to be found to make a play in the running game. Devontae Wyatt looks where the ball is, holds his guy up, sticks his head around here. Saquon Barkley runs the other way, and he shoves the guy and then makes the frickin' tackle. Yet, the story on Devontae Wyatt is that he doesn't make the play. He beats the guy, but he doesn't make the play. That's the story this week that I've heard from Tom Silverstein or Steen or whatever the fart his name is, and some of these other idiots on Twitter saying that, well, Devontae Wyatt's not good. He's just a terrible draft pick by Goody. He's just terrible. He's just terrible. How can a guy who's that old, he was an old guy when they drafted, he was 24 when they drafted him. I mean, he should know better. Blah, blah. He is good. He is doing good things. I just showed it to you. He's way better than Kenny Clark by 1.5 miles. But not once have we ever heard anybody say that about Kenny Clark, that he beats the guy in front of him, and yet doesn't get there and make it. Like, how many sacks does Kenny Clark have in his freaking career? He's played way longer than freaking Devontae Wyatt and played a hell of a lot more downs than Devontae Wyatt. His only sacks come when the quarterback freaking tears his Achilles and falls down in front of him. That's when Kenny Clark gets sacked. What the fart, people?
It's a double standard.
Stop this. Stop it. Stop the narrative that Devontae Wyatt is not good. He's not great, but he is good. And if he had half a decent guy next to him and Kenny Clark, they'd be doing pretty good together. But Kenny Clark stinks. I'd rather have anybody else out there. I'd rather have Brooks out there. I'd rather have Wooden out there. I'd rather have TJ Slayton out there. I'd rather have Chris Slayton out there, by the way, who we all know was pretty damn good last year. And which brings me to my next thing.
I like TJ Slayton.
You said something earlier. You said, or maybe it was a quote in the I think it was a quote by somebody in the comments in the chat. They said that the Packers' run defense has been a problem since, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years. It's gone through different defensive coordinators, right?
Yep.
Multiple defensive coordinators, we can't stop the run. Multiple defensive coordinators or defensive linemen don't make plays. Dean Lowry, right? Not good. The only guy we had that was any good was Mike Daniels because he went to Iowa and they taught him all the shit before he got here.
Mike D!
Everybody else stinks. Last year we had Jared Reed show up, made some plays every now and again. Why? Because he was a freaking veteran who already knew what the hell he was doing when he showed up. Which brings me to Jerry Montgomery. How long has Jerry Montgomery been the defensive line coach of the Green Bay Packers? Some reason, he has survived all the defensive coaches getting axed, the defensive coordinators getting axed, and they get bring in a new defensive coordinator, yet Jerry Montgomery was there. Jerry Montgomery was here before Mike Pettin. Jerry Montgomery was here after Mike Pettin, and now with frickin' Joe Barry. But yet, our defensive line has never really been that great. Now, sometimes you don't have all the money into it. But tell me how a guy like Montravius Adams is still in the league somewhere. Because he is. He's with the Steelers. Yeah. He's with the Steelers right now, and he plays. And he's decent. And the Steelers have an eye for freaking defensive linemen, don't they?
They also draft a lot of Badgers.
Right.
The Steelers and the Cowboys draft a lot of Badgers. Look at Jake Ferguson. God damn.
Jake Ferguson's doing good stuff. But anyways,
damn. All right.
That's my beefs. I'm wondering, what is Jerry Maguire teaching these guys? Because it's obvious either they have no actual strategy, right? Everybody just beat the guy in front of you, right? Or they suck. Okay, that's the coach. So strategy and sucking, where's the coach? What's he doing? We've had the same defensive line coach for 10 years. And we've had the same problem for 10 years. When is it going to be finger pointed at Jerry Montgomery? And the thing is, Jerry Montgomery is spoken about as if he's one of the best defensive line coaches in the league. That's what the Packer reporters say. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I know nothing about coaching defensive line. I'm not calling out, I'm not saying he sucks. I'm just saying maybe it's something that needs to be looked into. Maybe it's something that could be part of the problem. Because we've had multiple defensive coordinators, yet the same defensive line coach for 3 different defensive coordinators, and every time it's been the same problem, no matter what players we have in there. That could be a problem, and it could be a coaching problem at the position coaching problem, kind of like the Jason Vrabel problem. That's
Slow
Anyways.
white guy teaching other fast guys how to play receiver. Yeah, I get it.
So those are my beef. One of my beefs is. What do you think about that? What do you think about the Devontae Wyatt slander, which is ridiculous? When Kenny Clark never gets called up for that shit, and he doesn't make half the plays that Devontae Wyatt made. Just in this play, I think Devontae Wyatt made more plays in this game than Kenny Clark's made all year long. All year long, and that's saying something.
Well, he's definitely more impactful, as JJ pointed out. If the refs would call holding, it would have been a different story. Look, holding, offensive holding is like one of the worst freaking penalties, right? It's 10-yard penalty.
It is.
Spot of foul. So if it happens 5 yards in the backfield, it's actually like a 15-yard loss. I mean, offensive holding is one of the worst. Actually, holding on defense is the worst too, because it's automatic first down. So in general, holding is like the worst penalty on offense or defense, pretty much, that you could think of. And so if you have a crew that's calling it, damn, does that change the game? And if they're just letting it all go, wow, does that change the game? It's probably one of the most influential calls or non-calls on the outcome of a game.
Well,
because if you
pass interference on D-backs,
because if you're gonna let guys get away with, but holding can happen on every play. And if they're not gonna,
but I've showed you some egregious, like these guys are getting hugged and shit.
No,
from behind.
What I'm saying is holding can happen a lot more frequently than defensive pass interference, because that pass interference is generally going to be to the player that's getting the ball thrown to them. Holding can be anywhere on the field, right, on any single play. So holding is going to happen way more frequently. And if you're going to, as an officiating crew, and we don't have our official Viking Mo official on tonight, but if you're going to lock down holding and set the tone early on and call it, and the guys have to adjust, you change the game, right? The game has changed. And if you say we're not going to call it, the game has changed to that way. And the Giants saw they're not going to call it, so we're going to pull all this crap all game long. And that's what they did. Like a bunch. Here's the thing. If you're a defensive player and you're on the rush and your momentum is going this direction and somebody grabs you and holds you, okay, that's going to affect whether or not you can actually make the tackle, because you're trying to beat the blocker and get to the guy and make the tackle. Okay, it's a lot different than just beating the guy or whatever, or blocking someone if you're on the offensive side. And if you're trying to if you're trying to get past somebody and then you get pushed in the back, that also affects whether or not, because your momentum's going in one direction. If they push you in the back and make you go faster in that direction, you miss tackles. So those plays not being called are a huge factor in whether or not the guys can make plays or not. It's not that not that Devontae Wyatt just raced up the field and ran past a bunch of plays. He got pushed past a bunch of plays based on what you're showing, which is really good, because in the initial view of the game, I thought, man, the Packers are just flying upfield and creating a bunch of holes. But they were assisted in that. And sometimes they were assisted in an illegal way, which is why you have the officials on the field to stop that from happening. And they didn't stop it. So it's a problem. Okay. Campbell, Clark, Savage need to be gone. Save a ton of caps, says JJ. Lee points out that Andy's chub for Kenny is unjustified. At least the last 2 years, it's unjust. David thinks, when we're going to start to say, when is it time to get Wyatt some help? Look, I mean, and I know we're going to talk offense in a little bit, and there are plenty of issues on that side of the ball and all that sort of stuff. Next week, the Giants probably get called for like 15 holding penalties, right?
But it won't be. Refs watch the tape back. Right. They're going to be like, what the hell?
And after the Packers complain to the league, now all of a sudden they'll get called for a bunch of holding penalties. Great. That doesn't help us, but whatever.
I just wanted to put it into perspective, because
I like that.
Here's the other narrative of that's been going on is Joe Barry sucks. Joe Barry sucks. Joe Barry sucks. Jordan Love led the team down and got the go-ahead score, and then the defense gave up the field goal at the end. Well, all I know is this: we had a fumble, we had a pick, we had a muffed punt that was then picked up again instead of just fall on. We had a bunch of 3-and-outs and terrible passes that led to punts, and our defense held the Giants to 7 points in the first half. That's pretty good. I'm not a Joe Barry guy, but I can't put this loss on Joe Barry. Did the defense stink at the end? Did they not freaking play tight? Yes. Is that a Joe Barry problem? Yes, it is. Would I rather have a different defensive coordinator? Yes, I would. But I can't possibly put that on Joe Barry at this point. And here's the other beef I have that makes me even more angry than what this beef is, the story on Devontae Wyatt. On Monday, Matt LaFleur had his press conference. He went on a good 10 to 15 minute soliloquy about all the problems with the game and what went wrong. He called out individual plays, individual players on defense, special teams. Because somebody asked him about Carlson and about how, is he your kicker moving forward? And he's like, well, yeah, he's my kicker moving forward. He missed a field goal, but he came back and made the next field goal right away, and guys miss field goals. Like he doesn't have a terrible field goal percentage this year. Actually, a pretty damn good field goal percentage this year.
Right. He's doing fine.
And he's like, he missed field goal. That sucks. We can't have that. And he said, Keyshawn Nixon, we can't have a punt muff and then, muff it a second time on the same freaking play. You can't do that. Right. Then he went on and he said, talked about the defense. He's like, we can't be off that far, blah, blah, blah. He's like, he talked about the play I showed where they were in the Wildcat and guys were getting fooled and not even getting blocked and still not making a play. He talked about how the defenders were running past the quarterback and leaving him giant holes. Well, you know what? They were being held, Matt LaFleur. A guy who watched the tape already at that point. Now, they said he got back at 3 a.m, and this press conference was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so I don't know when he slept and then watched the film and all the other stuff. Probably didn't sleep much. Maybe didn't watch the film all that great. Maybe only watched the offensive film, didn't actually watch the defensive film, or at least he just sort of looked at it. But he mentioned all that stuff. He talked about this. He talked about the defense's problems. He talked about missed tackles. He talked about the play where the one I showed you where the quarterback made Savage look like a chump and he slipped and fell on his ass and then went guy down the 1 yard line. He talked on defense and special teams that were problems. And then at the end of his soliloquy, he did say, and we did fumble and we intercepted. And, we had a couple bad passes in there, or a couple of passes that he didn't even say bad. He said we had a couple passes that Jordan would like to have back, is what he said.
Like to have back.
So apparently he can call specific plays, specific players on defense, on special teams, on offense. He called offensive linemen out for not sustaining blocks. He said that the 4th and 2 play, or the 2-point conversion that he called, if 2 guys didn't miss their blocks, it probably would have been a successful play. Though he said, it probably wasn't a very good play call. I could have done a better play call. But before that, he said 2 guys missed their blocks. So he blamed Malik Heath and Elton Jenkins for that, because those are the 2 guys who missed their blocks. And anybody who watches the film would be able to tell you that. I just told you. He blamed receivers for not blocking on the edge. All that stuff. And then he said Jordan Love would love to have a couple passes back. And yeah, we fumbled and we had an interception. Those are bad things. Jordan Love fumbled. Jordan Love threw an interception. Jordan Love threw a bunch of shitty passes. Can we start calling out Jordan Love, Matt LaFleur? All I know is this. For 2 weeks, we love some Jordan Love. We went on and on about how great he was. Even I got fooled. I should have known better. Because it don't matter how good you can evade the rush. And it doesn't matter how many times you throw an anticipation throw. If it's inaccurate as fuck, it ain't going to matter. Because your anticipation throw is way the fuck off. And that's what the truth is. All these different guys. Barely call himself. He said, it falls on me. I'm the head coach. It falls on me. And then Jordan would love to have some throws. I thought that he was just like placating to Aaron Rodgers and never ever blaming Rodgers for things. But he never called anybody out by name. Or like specific like plays on the field where a guy fucked up and he said like, this guy stunk and he missed a tackle and this guy was in the wrong hole or this guy, couldn't get off the block or what, all these things, right? But he's calling them out. And then Jordan threw a couple bad passes. Jordan threw a couple bad passes. Jordan threw a bunch of bad passes. And I'm going to show him. Because I've had enough.
Hold on. Damn. You just went in a direction here. First of all, you're dropping F-bombs like this guy right here.
I'm mad.
You're dropping F-bombs like this guy right here.
Yeah, he even tricked me too.
This is the one thing I wanted you to think about. I wanted to revisit this, Matt LaFleur, and I want you to think about these words versus what you saw against the Giants. Here's Matt LaFleur.
We got to where we got. You guys told me to bust your ass every day.
Bust your ass every effing day.
All right. And put it out there every day.
And put it out there every effing day.
We're going out there and we playing to win.
We playing to effing win.
We playing to win.
Says it twice. We playing to effing win, Ben. Anything in that Giants game, was that playing to win?
Well,
or was that playing not to lose?
I don't know what it was. It wasn't playing. It wasn't even playing. It was not playing good.
Oh man.
We don't have to like, I don't want to like look into these things.
Here. He says, let's see Salah get let go by the Jets. And then what Ben called for it.
That's what I said way back when Aaron Rodgers got hurt. I said, that's what
JJ wants it too. If it happens, that would be great, but we'll see. Maybe you think Salah could whip these guys into shape? Because that's the other ultimate question before we move on to the offense is so much talent. I hear all the time. There's Rashawn Gary's a good player. Kenny Clark's a good player. Devondre Campbell's an all-pro. All these guys are good players, man.
Jason, we know none of that's here's the thing that bothers me too. Now everybody's talking, Devondre Campbell, maybe he's not that good. You know what? We said that already. We said that last year. We said that before last year. We said that when they gave him the contract, a 5-year contract. I said, why are we doing this? The guy's not that good. His numbers look good. He's not an all-pro player. He never was. I said it. Go back and look at the film of our show. We know that. Same thing. Kenny Clark, he's not good. We know that. Rashawn Gary is not a transcendent defensive player. He's a good guy. He works hard. He's got some talent. But he's no Max Crosby.
God damn, I watched Max Crosby's interview last night, and he came out shirtless. And you're right. He does not look very impressive without a shirt on.
He has like all those muscles.
Tattoos. But he's not that. He's not that. He's got a little jelly roll on the side. He's got a little love handle action. He's got his arms are kind of skinny compared to most NFL pass rushers, but he dominates the game. How the hell does he do it? How does he do it?
It's relentlessness, dude.
Jesus.
It's the ability to slide through, read things, understand what's going on, and just go crazy. And that's Rashawn Gary doesn't do that. He doesn't have that ability. And that's what you need to be a transcendent defensive player.
Rashawn Gary with his shirt off next to Max Crosby with his shirt off, it would look ridiculous. Like Rashawn Gary would look like a monster compared to him.
Yeah.
But who's the more impactful player? Max Crosby. It's crazy.
But we don't need to talk about all that. Just stop saying weird stuff. There isn't, the talent's not there.
Stop
the
saying
narrative,
weird
the
stuff.
narrative
You
that we
can't
have
tell
all the
me
talent.
to stop saying weird stuff. I always say weird stuff. That's what I do.
But they don't have talent. We've already been over this.
I know.
They traded away their most talented player.
JJ says Crosby is the John Wick of pass rushers. I've not watched the John Wick movies, so
I don't watch.
I'll take your word for it, JJ. I get it.
I'm not a Keanu Reeves guy.
If you want to say that he's the Chuck of pass rushers or the Zachary Levi, then that's a reference that makes sense to me. Anyway, go ahead. Offense, Packers offense. We got the video up. What do you got?
This is the Packers offense. This is bad love.
I see it.
This is love stinks.
I'm gonna go find it.
Love stinks. Yeah. Right. That's what this is. So we're just gonna watch it. You think Jordan would like to have some pass? This is just the first half. Let's watch this third down play. Jordan Love is throwing the ball. Let's look at this pocket. Is there any reason for Jordan Love to be falling backwards twisting his body like a dumbass and practically falling over like a freaking moron, I think that pocket's pretty good. Do you think that are you looking at this, Jason? Hello, are you there?
So
Did you really?
he has
really
done
leave?
that. He has done that the whole time. He has
Right.
done that the whole time. And I've said it numerous times where he's not actually stepping into throws. He's like always falling off. And I'm like, is that the Aaron Rodgers influence? Did Aaron and not just like, hey, you can do it this way. I understand. We all understand. We've talked about this before. After Aaron Rodgers took that knee shot in 2018, he was like, screw this. I'm not allowing myself. I'm not going to expose myself like that. So he changed the way he threw. He figured out how to throw with his torso. And for the most part, it worked for him, although sometimes it made him throw like garbage. And Jordan Love is maybe he said, hey, man, if you want to have a long career in this league, you can't take those shots in your legs. So you can't step into throws the way guys used to. What you have to do is keep your legs safe. And the only way to do that is throwing off your back foot, fading away, doing whatever, using your upper body to get all your momentum and your power to throw. And Jordan Love probably doesn't have the same training and the same ability as Rodgers to be able to do that.
Well, here's one where he doesn't fall away.
Okay.
He's about 15, 20-yard pass from A.J. Dillon, who is a stationary target.
He had a lot of, to quote Aaron Rodgers,
Look at
shitty
this.
throws in this first half.
I mean, what the fuck is that?
It's bad. It's not allowing AJ Dillon to do nothing. Like some people are like, well, maybe he could have came up with that catch. Well, if he comes,
no fucking way.
Come on.
If
That's
you're standing there with nobody anywhere around you, you would expect
Terrible
the quarterback to pass it directly to you, not 25 yards to the freaking right of where you're at.
A bullet that's like way out of your reach. That's dumb. Yeah, terrible throw. I do have to say this barley wine is fantastic, though. It's really
I know
working.
you're getting drunk already. I can tell.
Woo-hoo.
All right.
Oh shit! Look at my guy, 85, doing his thing.
If you're running the ball, and this is what you see in front of you, you see a corner, a bunch of green grass, and 85 right in front of you to block this one corner with a bunch of green grass. Where would you run this ball, Jason?
I'd be running to the outside. I'd be like, Tucker, get that guy, because these big guys are going to crush my ass. So let me get to the outside.
You would think that's what most human beings would do. But not this guy. He stops, slows down, and fumbles the fucking goddamn game away.
Oh, shoot.
But he'd like to have a couple passes back.
And you're in Anders' range right there. That's the difference in the game. Anders could have made that kick.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. All right, let's take a look at this play. What do you think Jordan Love is looking at when he decides to throw this pass?
I have no idea. Well, I think he's okay. Let's try to put yourself in his shoes a little bit. Right now, let's look at all the other receivers. Most of them, you get the guy over the middle, maybe. I guess we could go to him.
Well, I would say Jaden Reed is coming across the field. Coming
the other two guys,
down.
it's what is this? You're not helping your quarterback at all. What are you doing?
I would throw the ball right about to the 43-yard line, just past the bottom hash mark, because Jaden Reed is coming across the field at that point, and that's where I would throw the ball.
And Zach Tom had a rough game. Let's be real about it. And he got his ass whooped on this play.
Zach Tom actually was the highest graded offensive lineman on the Packers. This is not Zach Tom getting beat up here, by the way. That's a 7. That's Patrick Taylor.
Patrick Taylor? Why the hell is Patrick Taylor blocking the outside?
That's a blitzing out. That's a corner.
Oh, that's not Thibodeau, or that's not.
No, that's Zach Tom is kicking his ass way up over here. There's no penetration from him.
Lee points out you got to get rid of that thing instead of taking the sack other times. Damn.
When he throws this ball, Wicks is actually in the corner is in lockstep with Wicks. There's no reason to throw this ball.
Yeah,
that is the
decision on this play. Although
And
I
then
would say a bunch of those, other than Reed's pattern, those they don't do anything to help out the quarterback on this play. I mean, Matt LaFleur, I thought had a terrible play calling night. I was just like, where's Tucker Kraft? Where are the plays over the middle that have worked so well, that Jordan Love is actually good at throwing and comfortable throwing? Where are those plays? And we didn't see enough of them. A bunch of the passes went to the outside. I don't know why.
I just wanted to show that was second down too, which made it even more stupid.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Here's the other thing I wanted you to take a look at, and I want you to compare it to the Packers defense. On second down, look at where the Giants' corners are. Up at the line of scrimmage, up at the line of scrimmage. This guy who's covering the tight end, up in the line of scrimmage.
Stark difference.
And then Wicks is going in motion, and this guy's running around behind. But look at that. As opposed to our guys who are on second down are playing way back here, 7 yards off. But anyway, so second down. And Jordan Love throws up some dumbass wounded duck like an idiot, instead of just throwing the ball into the dirt and waiting to live another day, when you're practically in field goal range. And this was after he fumbled in field goal range already. And the defense still stopped him after that. They stopped him after the fumble. They stopped him after the pick. It was the Keyshawn Nixon play that led to a touchdown later on. And then let's look at his mechanics here. And I know there's people that are going to be mad at me because they're like, wait a minute, you just said how great Jordan Love was last week. I said, no, I said I realized why I was having concerns. It's because it's different than what I've been watching.
I mean,
what it looks like is, this is not like Brett Favre stuff. And look at that one. Like, what is that air-mailed pass? Not that that play would have probably done anything anyway.
Right.
But it's still a terrible pass.
Yeah.
So we've shown, 3 terrible passes, a terrible pick, a stupid fumble that he could have easily gotten away if he would have just freaking not done something dumb. And then this freaking debacle of a play where we lost like 10, 15 yards on a freaking screen pass. But here's the other thing that's so stupid. Look at this pocket he's got going on. And guys have fallen over each other, yes. But look at 85. Tucker Kraft at about the 50-yard line, just standing there. Just throw it to him. Just look. You should know where he is. Yeah, the receivers on the top of the screen are covered. You got no option there. But Tucker Kraft is here. You can just dump it off to him. This is obviously a mess. A.J. Dillon's supposed to get the ball. He's laying on the ground. It's a mess. Dump it to Tucker Kraft. Look at him. Tucker Kraft is waving his arms up. He's like, dude, throw me the ball.
Oh, man. He's got the mailbox.
Throw me the ball. Yeah, he's got 2 mailboxes. He's got both arms up. And then Love tries to get it to A.J. Dillon, who, of course, catches it. And then he gets tackled for like a 10-yard loss.
Yeah,
what
that was
disaster.
That was such a terrible play.
What a freaking disaster.
Oh, my God. So JJ points out that Matt LaFleur falls in love with passing too much, just like plenty of coaches do. And that was the one thing, like runs up the middle were working pretty, like they were getting pretty effective in this game overall.
Okay,
and
I want to
decide to do all the other stuff.
I want to show you how dumb this play is. This is a Matt LaFleur special.
Okay.
So not only are you running a receiver in motion across the formation this way, he's going to pull both Runyon and Zach Tom. And he's going to have nobody block Thibodeau. Does that sound like a smart play? Like, I could see having pull these 2 guys and then have a receiver come across and chip Thibodeau on the backside as A.J. Dillon's getting the ball running this way. Right? But on this play, he has both of these guys pull, and Thibodeau gets unblocked and tackles A.J. Dillon. And A.J. Dillon would have gotten more yards if, look, Zach Tom is in motion. John Runyon's in motion.
He gave him the arm, though. He gave him the old Billy Turner tag arm, and that's going to hold him off.
And now Zach Tom runs into Yasha's ass. That was a genius fucking move. What is this crap?
Look, Josh Myers.
Josh Myers totally whiffed on his block, yes, but it doesn't matter because Thibodeau never even got blocked. This is so dumb. And Wicks is just standing over here. What's he supposed to do? Is he supposed to be blocking somebody or what? He's
He's
just kind of
not even-
standing, like hanging out.
There's nobody left. There's nobody left because we didn't count for him. I'm going way downfield when we get this big play.
I don't know if somebody was like, maybe Zach Tom wasn't supposed to pull there, or maybe Runyon wasn't supposed to pull there. I
JJ
don't quite
says,
know.
I wonder if Goody's eating crow about bragging up Myers now. Probably not. He just won't talk about him this week for a while, for a couple weeks.
Now here's another genius one where they pull Runyon out of here and they expect Zach Tom, and like everybody's pulling this way, but Zach Tom has to somehow get over this way. So you got offensive linemen moving in two different directions as Runyon's supposed to try to pull. I don't quite know who's blocking who. I'm guessing that Myers is supposed to come here and maybe Zach Tom is supposed to help. Like, why? Just have Runyon stay there and have Tom move around.
That would be an easier block for sure. 100%.
And then it's just a big pile of shit. Now, it's a good play. It's being up that awesome play.
It's like Josh Myers' best block of his career right here.
Right. Luckily for us, it didn't hurt us, right? Because somehow Josh Myers got out of there.
Yeah, he's like
But
Kraft.
he still runs into everybody over here, right? Yeah, he runs into Kraft. And DeGuara comes around the edge. And look at how long Tucker Kraft holds this block, by the way.
I was just gonna say that's a hell of a job by Tucker Kraft holding that block.
And that's Thibodeau.
Well done, Tucker Kraft.
Yeah,
damn.
Tucker Kraft had a great game.
He's really coming on, and he's better than Musgrave all around.
And DeGuara had a good block. So, I mean, Kraft and DeGuara had a really good game. Well, DeGuara, he only played 7 plays.
Myers still fell down at the end, Ben. He still fell down.
Yeah, Myers is always going to fall down.
Why
so
do
I
you
got a couple.
If you're
good
300
plays at
some
the end
pounds,
here.
why do you want to fall down at the end all the time? Why? Just stay on your feet.
I don't know why I put that on here. Why did I put this on here?
I don't know, because AJ Dillon fought hard. Tucker Kraft struggled. I don't know.
Why did I? Let's take a look. Let's see why did I do this? Oh, that's why.
I don't understand your thought.
That's why I did it. Let's watch the great Elton Jenkins. He's right here, 74. He's going to pull. It's supposed to be the lead blocker on this play on Thibodeau. And let's see what he does. He falls on his face, which screws up everybody. And then AJ only gets 2 yards. Because the great Elton Jenkins on his second contract, who makes a bunch of money, fell on his face. Now let's watch the Giants do a similar type play with a pulling guard and a tight end. Look at this. Look how the left tackle gets off the ball and shields off the defensive lineman. Just shields him off completely. Like, there's no way this guy's making a play because he gets off the ball, shields him off. And now the left guard is coming around in motion. Of course, Kenny Clark's getting his ass kicked by the center. No problem. You got a tight end coming in motion to take out Preston Smith. And you got a big guard coming on our little guy, McDuffie, who we all know is only about 210 pounds, 220 pounds. And they got 300 pounds coming straight for him. That's bad news for us. Look at that.
Look at right tackle. He does a good job holding him up, too. Yeah. Okay. Nice.
And it's just, you got a shield here. We got a little seal on Preston Smith with the tight end. We got a lead with our left guard, or right guard. And then Saquon right through the hole. And all we got is Savage there.
Savage! He got him down.
He does make the tackle. He made the tackle, but of course it was like a 13-yard gain. So anyways, I just wanted to show what it looks like when you do it right as opposed to what you do it wrong. Your guy falls on his face. Your running back gets tackled for a 2-yard run, right? The other side, exact same play, just to the other side. Giants, that's the same play. The Giants do it. Their guy doesn't fall down. He gets a nice seal block. Their guy runs for 12 yards. Same play.
Youngest offense in the league, Ben. You got to expect that.
Yeah, well, Elton Jenkins is the highest paid player starting right at this point on the offensive
Elton
side of the
Jenkins
ball.
is not a young guy. Oh, huh. Okay, I get it. Hey, so JJ brought up some stuff earlier and some other people. So he said it seems like Love looked lost without Watson in the game. Look, Love, here's the big difference in Love's this was different, Ben, from what we've seen from Jordan Love for weeks, which was in this game against the Giants, he was not throwing anticipation throws. He was
Yeah, he
waiting
was.
for not a lot of
He
times.
started throwing anticipation throws, but they were way off. And that was when it forced him to
wait
hang on to the ball. Wait, yes. Because he
and see.
realized his accuracy was so shitty.
Mm.
I don't know.
It was noticeable just watching the game that he was waiting.
Terrible.
But the other part to me was a bunch of those throws in the first half were to the outside. And he struggled. That's where he's not as good.
Struggles.
He's not that good at throwing to the outside. A big part of that is his footwork and his mechanics. And there's a lot of stuff. There was some conversation. If you watch Andy Herman and his conversation with Mike Wall today, yesterday, today, whatever it was.
Yeah, I listened to
Mike Wall said, that the trap is for a lot of coaches, they'll say, well, that's an off-season thing that we'll fix.
Yeah.
Because we got to worry about the upcoming game and what the opponent does and blah, 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 blah. But if your guy is missing throws because of the way, his mechanics, fix that now. Why would you wait? What are you doing? It doesn't make any sense because it doesn't matter what the other team does. Your guy could be wide open or he could be covered. And if your guy throws like garbage, it's not a completion either way.
Now, I didn't even show the terrible overthrow on Samori Toure, which would have been a touchdown. I didn't show the terrible overthrow on the run to Samori Toure where he couldn't get his feet in bounds and make the catch. Or other passes in the second half that were shit. That was just first half terrible passes and terrible decisions and terrible plays by Jordan Love. And I want to ask you all a simple question. How do you feel about Tucker Kraft right now? I feel pretty good. I think Tucker Kraft is a better all-around player than Luke Musgrave could ever be. Because of what our guy says and David says. Tucker Kraft doesn't fall down after he catches the ball. You're right. He catches it and then he makes plays. He makes guys miss. He breaks tackles. He does all kinds of awesome stuff, right? But we didn't know this until Musgrave got hurt because Matt LaFleur played Musgrave 100% of the snaps, and Tucker Kraft was in there just to hit the freaking defensive end and try to block him, right? Now we know Tucker Kraft is good. Well, I'll take it back. We knew this back when they drafted him. We said when they drafted him, we're like, you know what? This ain't bad. I like him. I think he's a good all-around tight end. He's a guy I liked. Actually, I would have taken him in the second round, and I would have taken Musgrave in the third round if it was me, because he's the type of guy I'd rather have, because that's what they need, is a guy who can do everything. I would rather have him, like 100%. A Mark Shimura. He's a Mark Shimura type guy over the Jackie Harris.
Well, of all the remember this draft, right? They were all talking about all the tight ends and all the talent at tight ends.
Yeah,
there were only a couple of guys that were more all around. Right? Dalton Kincaid, not a good blocker, but a good receiver, blah, 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 blah. Washington, a big blocker, not that dynamic as a receiver. Okay, yeah. Musgrave, same thing. Vertical speed, but doesn't do a lot of the other things that well, and coming off an injury, all that stuff. But it was Sam Laporta and Tucker Kraft that were talked about as more of them well-rounded guys. Now, the Packers couldn't get Laporta. They didn't go that high to get him. So they took Kraft. And I mean, when you look at
Laporta is a smoother route runner.
Yes.
Better hands catcher.
100%.
Kraft's more 100%. Of a big clunky guy.
But he's
bigger. He's bigger and stronger. Laporta's only 6'2". Kraft's like 6'4", and he's a little bit more solid.
I have been impressed with his ability to run after the catch. And he has good hands. And he's a physical enough blocker. And he's got a good mentality and attitude about his work, his job on the field. So
now, I didn't bring him up to talk about him specifically, okay?
But he's an overall tight end. Like if you needed a starting tight end for every down tight end, and you
That's what Tucker
needed
Kraft is.
yes,
They tried to make Musgrave that. He's not that.
right.
And we didn't know this until after Musgrave got hurt and Kraft got to play. And now we see, oh shit, Kraft is the guy who should have been starting the whole time. Musgrave is the downfield guy. Musgrave is the gadget guy. Not behind the line of scrimmage, but downfield type guy. But we didn't know until he got hurt. How do you feel about Dontavian Wicks? He makes plays. He makes guys miss. He's got good hands. How do you feel about Malik Heath? He's really good. Would we know about those guys unless Watson got hurt and we saw him in the beginning of the year and now we see him again now? How do you feel about Valentine? Or how do you feel about Anthony Johnson Jr. or even Owens, who didn't get to play until guys got hurt and then Savage got hurt and then guess what? Owens gets to play. But we wouldn't know any of these things unless they get to hurt. Unless they, we saw who the coaches wanted to start. And a lot of the guys who have been here a while, we know their flaws. We know their ceiling. We know what they are. What I'm bringing this to, okay, is to the quarterback position. Why is it that when the quarterback plays like dog shit, we can't put a guy in there to see if he can do something different? I'm not saying Sean Clifford is better than Jordan Love. I'm not saying he's as good as Jordan Love. I'm saying he might be different than Jordan Love, and he might be able to complete a 10-yard out route. He might be able to throw to A.J. Dillon on a 15-yard pass where Dillon is standing stationary. He might be able to read the fact that Tucker Kraft is wide open waiting for that pass instead of throwing it to A.J. Dillon, who's laying on the ground 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It's more to quarterback than just having a strong arm and being 6'4". Sometimes all you have to do is look at the team you just played. What are the Giants going through right now? Daniel Jones is their guy. They gave him a 4-year contract, $80 million a year. Or not $80 million a year, $40 million a year. Yet they got more wins, or just as many wins with Tommy. 3 more wins. They got more wins with Tommy DeVito than they had with frickin' Daniel Jones. And why? Because he's just a gamer, man. I am sick. I am sick to watch this. I'm sick to watch how Goody and LaFleur are trying to save face and watch Jordan Love go out there, throw terrible, not accurate passes, make stupid ass decisions. He got lucky against the frickin' Chiefs. That pass was luck. Now, the ability to see the rush coming at him and avoid it and then get the ball off, that was good stuff. But the Romeo Doubs catch was lucky on 4th down. All I'm saying is this. We've watched how when Musgrave comes out, you took Kraft in. Kraft's a better all-around player. Dontavian Wicks is a really good player. He might be better. He's better than Christian Watson, all-around wide receiver. He is. He's just better. He doesn't have the speed, but he has everything else. Anthony Johnson Jr. might be better than Savage. And Owens definitely is better than Savage. And we know it now because they got hurt and then the guy came in the game and played. We know that Sean Ryan, a little bit iffy, but we know he's better than Runyon. They still won't play Sean Ryan the whole game, but we know it because we see Sean Ryan in the game. So my question is this. What is the chances that Sean Clifford might be better than Jordan Love right now? And I want to know. If I was Matt LaFleur, I would want to know. I don't care that you got him in the first round. You traded up to get him. All this other bullshit. I've seen enough of stupid and enough of not bad mechanics on a guy who's been around for 4 freaking years. You had 3 years to work on your mechanics. If you haven't figured it out by now, there might be a problem. Might be a problem. This is different. When Brett Favre showed up, he made some dumb decisions, but the ball went where he wanted it to every time. When Aaron Rodgers showed up, he had a couple weird arm angles and shit, but he fixed it in a couple years, and then he got his arm angle perfect, and he was on target, and he was accurate, and he made good decisions. And then gradually later on, he decided that his numbers were better than the team winning games. That was different later on. But early on, we saw it right away. Jordan Love doesn't have it at this point. And if you're telling me that he just needs to work on his mechanics and his footwork, he's had 4 years to work on his mechanics and his footwork. And it hasn't shown up in the games. Last week, I said a lot of stuff, mostly because Mo and Rick were on, and I was trying to be funny. I said Jordan Love might be a top 10 quarterback. Then, of course, my back is like, I said, oh, he's not a top 10 quarterback. We all know that.
Yeah, we were giving Mo a hard time with.
We were just giving Mo and Rick a hard time, right? Because they don't have quarterbacks. They don't have quarterbacks. But again, their guys
coaches.
But what I'm saying is this:
64 points.
How do we know that we don't have a better player at that position when he never gets to play? How do we know? What are you doing? Stop being drunk. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You're drunk. You're doing weird stuff now. You're muted. You're muted. Thank God. Anyways, I don't want to seem like a Jordan Love hater.
I said you ought to know, Matt LaFleur. You ought to know.
I know. And I'm sure a lot of people are mad at me.
And
Who's
that's
that one? The person who came on a couple weeks ago, they were mad. They were like, oh, well, now you guys have to say good things about Jordan Love. And we did. I did say good things about Jordan Love. But Matt LaFleur is coddling this guy. He's calling out everybody else at the press conference. Then he's like, well, there's a couple throws Jordan Love would like to have back.
Like to have back.
You think?
Those shitty ones, as Rodgers would say.
Yeah. I mean, this game was almost as bad as Aaron Rodgers in Detroit 2019 last game of the year.
Oh, it was not that bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad, dude. There's a lot of missed
It was
throws.
more like Brett Favre against Dallas in the playoffs bad.
No.
No? Worse than that?
It wasn't
Randy
that bad.
Wright in the
No, not Randy Wright. It's better than Randy Wright.
Better?
But it was not as bad as Brett Favre. This ain't even as bad as Brett Favre against the Rams in the playoffs when he threw 6 picks. That's better than this because at least Brett Favre kept taking shots and going crazy and doing crazy stuff. Now, they went down, and of course,
better when he should have had, according
trading
to
away
Mark
Corey
Tauscher,
Bradford
10
and
interceptions. 10 interceptions.
Mark Tauscher, yeah,
in
Mark
one
Tauscher
game.
said they would have yes.
All
And
right.
the other question is this. Wilde and Tausch brought this up, and I have asked you this, Chase.
Hold
They
on.
said today,
Is this still about Jordan Love?
this is about Jordan, without Matt LaFleur.
All right.
They said, why is it that Matt LaFleur will go up there and he'll say like, oh, it's on me, 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 it's on me. But then the last couple of weeks, he's kind of been, oh, this guy's not playing tough coverage, and oh, we missed some blocks, and oh, this guy missed a tackle, and he's calling out guys.
Yeah.
But then in front of the guys, he's like, "Oh, it's me, it's me, it's me." But in the reporters, then he's calling out guys, and Tausch is like, "I'm not liking that," because now if I'm a player, I'm like, I don't believe half the shit you say to me in my face. If I find out you've been talking shit about me in the press conferences, but then say good stuff to me in the locker room,
Right.
and after a while, when you say everything's, it turns into Andy Reid when he was with the Eagles. Remember when he was with the Eagles? He's like, "Oh, that's on me." You know, oh, we lost. Oh, that's on me. That's on my fault. It's on me. And you know what? Eventually, it was on you because you got canned, Andy Reid. Of course, then he went to the Chiefs and won a couple more Super Bowls. Still, well, not more Super Bowls. He won 2 Super Bowls. You never won one with the Eagles.
He did not. He's still leaving the door open for Mike McCarthy this season.
Mike McCarthy might do it this year. Okay, I'll shut up now. I know I've talked way too long, but I'm just saying.
McCarthy might be a Hall of Fame coach if he wins the Super Bowl.
Listen. If Mike McCarthy's a Hall of Fame coach, Mike Holmgren is definitely a Hall of Fame coach because he's way better.
He didn't win the Super Bowl with 2 different teams. If Mike McCarthy does it this year, Ben, what are you going to say about
I'm going to say
Mike McCarthy?
People asked Dak Prescott what's the difference between last couple of years and this year, and he said
Mike McCarthy play calling.
Mike McCarthy play calling, and he worked with him on his footwork in the offseason more than he had before.
What Aaron Rodgers refused to do? Footwork? And Jordan Love needs to do footwork.
Yes. So think maybe we should have never lost Mike McCarthy in the first place. And we only did because Aaron Rodgers threw the ball away 50 times on third downs.
Rodgers screwed us
and
again.
stalled drops and made Mike McCarthy get canned because he wanted him canned. And he thought that because he could do that, he thought he could also get Goody fired and all his other guys fired. But he couldn't. So I'm sorry, everybody.
Instead,
I'm
he's
being crappy on Love.
intercepting passes at Jets practice and making him think he should play linebacker when he comes back. Aaron Rodgers.
What?
That's what he's doing. He's intercepting passes at Jets practice and making people think he should be linebacker. But Ben's take on all of it is this.
Now let's cut this stupid cake because I know the fat guy's gonna have a heart attack if we don't eat again soon.
That's true. That's mean.
And while we
it's
do
true.
that, here's a little mood music for you.
This is Ben's take on what's going on with the Packers.
Cindy and Scott are newlyweds. Whoopity-doo!
Whoopity-doo!
He loves her, but she loves this guy right here. And he loves somebody else. You
Dude.
just can't win.
You got to stop drinking during the show because you start playing weird videos. There's one thing. I mean, when we play the My Girl Wants to Potty all the time, that was good. We might get blocked for playing Wedding Singer this long.
Let's gotta get to the chorus.
I know. Here we go.
Love stings.
I think he does. Yeah.
Love stinks.
I think he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he might stink. I don't know. But when you throw that many bad passes, throw a pick, fumble the ball because you don't follow the guy to the outside like an idiot, throw 2 more terrible passes when guys are wide open for touchdowns, and then you lose by 2 points, guess what, guys? The quarterback is the reason why we lost. It's not Joe Barry. It's not the defense. It's not even Keyshawn Nixon's fumble.
Come on, that was all bad, though.
It's Jordan Love's terrible passes on third down in the first half, Jordan Love missing 2 touchdowns in the second half, Jordan Love fumbling the ball, Jordan Love throwing pick. Jordan Love made more mistakes in this game than, I don't know, a bunch of people. Yet Matt LaFleur waited till the very end after calling out everybody else and then brought him up and said, oh, yeah, Jordan like to have some
like to have a couple
throws back. You got to start holding this guy accountable and take him out of the fucking game if he plays like shit. I don't care if he's a first round pick. I don't care if you think I am pissed because I was tricked. I believed I was tricked. I thought maybe it was because I hated Aaron Rodgers so much, right?
You did hate him a lot.
That I thought, he's got to be as accurate and all the stuff. And I was like, no, he doesn't have to be as accurate. He can do other things better than Aaron Rodgers, and that can make up for the fact that he's not accurate.
You can.
But the bottom line is, it don't matter how well you are in the pocket. Doesn't matter how good you are at reading the defense if you can't throw an accurate pass. And right now, this guy is hit or miss on whether he's accurate or not.
Well, a big part of that is, I mean, we notice it all the time. I said how he doesn't, even when they say stepping into a throw, he's like, his front foot is never stepping into a throw. And I understand all the reasons why guys are concerned, right? And there's still all these injuries to quarterbacks all over the place.
Right. No, I totally get it.
But, and we talked about one of the only intelligent things Mike McCarthy said, which was availability is your most important ability. Sorry. So
I heard a stat that there has been 62 quarterbacks injured this season.
Holy moly. So I get all of it, but you have to, like, if your feet aren't right, you're going to be less accurate. You know, you're not going to be as accurate as you should be. And you're not going to be as consistent. And that's just how it goes. Now, Aaron Rodgers figured out a way to use his torso and his hips and something or whatever, and not have feet on the ground and still get by with it, right? It wasn't as good as it was when he used to step into throws, but it was serviceable. It worked for the most part, not all the time. We saw that last year. But not everybody has done all that training, and not everybody like Jordan Love has figured that out. So he's got to use mechanics, and that's up to the goddamn coaching. Like, don't wait Don't say we're going to fix this in the offseason. You have a chance to make the playoffs right now. Fix it now. Which leads me to my one question for tonight. Would you rather have a higher draft pick for the Packers or would you rather have the Packers make the playoffs? And based on Goody's first round draft picks, I want the playoffs.
Me too. I want the playoffs too. Even if they freaking get blown out in the first round, at least they made the playoffs, so they got a playoff game, and these young guys get to have that feel.
Right.
But JJ is saying that Jordan Love's numbers are exactly the same as Aaron Rodgers' numbers the first season he started. And they are. And Aaron Rodgers had better players around him. He had Greg Jennings, and he had Donald Driver, and he had solid guys like that on his team. He had a great offensive line. Aaron Rodgers had way more benefits than Jordan Love has right now. And you might be saying, well, Ben, why the hell are you bitching so much? I think it's just when you watch the inaccuracies, when you watch the fact, the other thing is I don't like his mannerisms. Not in a bad way, in a blah way. Which brings me into
he seems more indifferent, right? Like he doesn't care as much, maybe, right?
Not that he doesn't care. I think he does care.
Well,
but I think he's purposely trying to not be upset and try to show that he's cool. When I think deep down he's probably freaking out, which also leads to more pressure on him that he's not showing. That's forcing him to play like shit. I think it's in his head, and he's not letting anybody know. And sometimes you just got to let it out and be like, fart, and just yell and scream and get it out of there. You know what I mean? And be upset or be fired up and get guys fired up.
Or whine to the officials like Patrick Mahomes or whatever. I mean, whatever you got to do.
Whatever. But which brings me into this next week. We're playing against a guy who he'll baker you, man. He'll baker you when you're not even suspecting it.
He's got nothing to lose. He's on
he
his
don't care
ninth
anymore.
life. What is he?
He's going to take every shot he can. He's going to run around like a crazy guy. He's going to throw probably a couple interceptable balls. But here's the thing. Everybody's talking about, get ready, Baker Mayfield. He comes to Grant Lambeau and he throws picks. I'm pretty sure the guy who picked him off is no longer here. Because I'm pretty sure Baker threw like 4 picks to Rasul Douglas over the last 2 seasons.
The only guy that's heads up for picks is Rudy Ford, and he's not on the field half the time.
That's right. And Rudy Ford. Yeah. And Rudy Ford's not out there. So that's what leads me to being scared this weekend. And if they lose this weekend, then I don't think they make the playoffs. It won't matter if they win the last 3, but I don't think they even will win the last 3.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams jumbled in there. Surprisingly, because of when you have multiple teams at the same record, right now they hold the tiebreaker for 6 and 7, even though head to head they lost to some of those teams. But because there's so many teams at the same record, they actually are in the 6th or the 7th seed. But if that changes a little bit, and as the last 4 games of the season come out, that's not going to be the same. Because some of these teams are going to play each other. Some of them are going to win. Some are going to lose or tie or whatever the hell that happens is going to happen. And the Packers are going to be, they might be out because of a tiebreaker because they lost to the Atlanta and because they lost to the Buccaneers. So this is a vital game. Literally, the Packers have a very good chance of making the playoffs if they don't have to win every game, but they have to win
this one and the Vikings
3 games. They have to win this one, the Vikings game, and probably the Bears game. Because watch out for the Bears. Watch out for the Bears.
Lucas
right
Patrick.
Now.
Yeah. Okay.
But if they lose any game, they should lose to Carolina. That would be their best loss at this point.
Well, if they lose Carolina, I think Packer fans would lose their minds.
I know, but that's the one loss that wouldn't affect them much. Like in terms of tiebreakers and all that stuff. So that would be their best loss if they're not going to win all 4. But
here's the thing that scares me.
I got to play better, number one.
The last time. Oh yeah, the last time we played Tampa Bay in the playoffs.
It's always ugly when we play freaking Tampa Bay.
They grab and they hold the corners, their corners and their safeties and their linebackers grab and hold you. And they held Robert Tonyan, they held Al Lazard, they held Randall Cobb, they held all these guys, St. Brown, MVS. All the guys got held. They did not fight through it. And now we have young guys who don't know how to fight through it. And I'm worried. I'm concerned that we're going to just be held and no one's going to call anything. And Love's going to have nowhere to go with the ball. And he's going to start throwing dumb passes, and it's going to be a mess. And then on the other side, we're going to have Baker, who's going to throw us some passes that could be intercepted, but we're not going to have any awareness guys on the field to actually pick off those passes. And then we're going to end up losing a tight game again, not because we're the worst team than they are, but because we didn't take advantage of the picks that were thrown our way that we should have got. And we also don't have receivers who have enough experience to fight through all this holding and grabbing that's going to be going on, because that's what Tampa Bay is always done. They grab, and hold. They did it in the playoffs against us. I mean, we all know Alan Lazard got grabbed, pulled back, and then that guy Bunting or whatever jumped off, 24, jumped off, grabbed, picked it off, which led to then the Tom Brady, Kevin King, Scotty Miller touchdown. So that's what scares me. I'm more afraid of this game than I was of the Giants game. I thought they were going to beat the Giants by 2 touchdowns. And they probably should have if Jordan Love didn't play so shitty. Because if he doesn't have all those bad, that's the other thing. If he doesn't have all those terrible, inaccurate passes, a fumble and a pick in the first half, they're up by 2 scores and the defense goes crazy. And then we get all the sacks we're supposed to get, right? We start playing differently. We don't have to worry about stopping the run.
Maybe.
And we stopped the run good except for those 4 plays.
Yeah, except they let the quarterback run way too much because of all the stuff that happened too.
Well, I told you, the guys got held and they never called it.
I know, but the plan was bad. Like you said, the whole game.
Yeah, the plan was bad.
Like the offensive line, like let's just put it out there. You see it all the time. The offensive line wants what's easier for them. If all they have to do is block the guy right in front of them, that's easier than if you switch a bunch of stuff up and throw some blitzes or throw some twists or throw some stunts at them. If you throw that stuff at them, they can't just set up and hone in on that one guy. They've got to like block their area and be prepared. Okay. And that can cause confusion for them. That can cause easy runners. That can cause free runners at the quarterback. All that stuff can happen. But if you just line up and say, rush guys, it's easy. And that's what you did against the Giants the whole game. It's inexcusable. It's
Jason Wilde asked Joe Barry how a team that had given up 69 sacks this season, and the Packers, who are pretty good in pass rush this year, got no sacks. And Joe Barry's answer was, I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, good.
That's what he said.
Great.
He doesn't know why his pass rush wasn't successful against one of the worst offensive lines in the league. And that's just feeding into the Joe Barry hate, which I totally get, and I'm not a Joe Barry guy. All I'm saying is it was more than Joe Barry. It was also Jordan Love who played like dog shit. And Keyshawn Nixon, by the way, who leads the league in kickoff return yards, but that's because he takes it out of the freaking goddamn end zone every time. And he gets like 20, 25 yards before he gets touched. That's why he has so much freaking return yards. Nobody else in the whole league does that. Nobody. So is he really that good? He hasn't even had like a big return. I think he had one return that got to like the 45 one time on a kickoff. Otherwise, he gets stopped for like 15 at the 15 or the 20. If he's lucky, he makes the 25. Usually he doesn't. That's sad. The whole thing is sad. I'm worried. I'm afraid we're going to get bakered. I'm afraid Mike Evans is going to school these young corners because he's just a big giant monster. And Godwin's going to run real fast. And all this crap's going to happen. And the defense is going to be all like, apparently there's a bunch of injured guys on the Tampa Bay defense, and they're not playing as good this year. That's what Trevor Sikkema said today. So he's a big Tampa Bay guy. So I don't know. I don't know what to say, but I'm concerned for me, for you, for all of us Packer fans, that this might be a loss. And it's probably because we don't have Rasul Douglas. Because he would take on Mike Evans and shut his ass down. And he'd probably get a couple picks off freaking Baker Mayfield.
You like picks on Baker Mayfield, 100%. You like?
I'm hoping that Tucker Kraft, Malik Heath can fight through some freaking cheap ass corners and linebackers on the Tampa Bay and get open and get some catches and make some plays happen. Those guys need to be tough and fight through it because Tunyon wasn't tough enough, Lazard wasn't tough enough, MVS wasn't tough enough. We need guys that are tougher, and I think Kraft and Malik Heath are tough, so I think they can do it. I'm counting on those two guys.
All right, we need them. All right, little positivity before we go.
And now, now it's time for the Hafeman Bros silent but deadly player of the week.
Now, the silent but deadly player, I think there's only one that could be possible. In my well, maybe not, because you're going to factor in the holding. But I'm going to say guys that actually did stuff in the game, were underutilized. My guy is Tucker Kraft. Should have got the ball a bunch in the first half. Was blocking his ass off, doing
He
some
had
stuff.
60 yards receiving. That's not that silent.
Well, I don't care. It was too silent for me. I wanted him to have 100 yards receiving, maybe 120, because he was that guy. He should have got the ball in the first half. Tucker Kraft, my silent but deadly player of the game. Also the best tight end on the Packers team. Maybe the best Packers tight end ever.
What?
Maybe. Based on our tight
Paul
end.
Kaufman.
Eh,
Paul Kaufman,
Crafty.
dude.
Kraft might be better than him already.
I don't know about that.
All right. Who you got a different one, or you think it's Tucker Kraft?
Yeah,
too?
mine's Devontae Wyatt. Devontae Wyatt. Give him some freaking love. Or give him a fart. Ooh. That was good at the end. Devontae Wyatt got screwed by the refs, just like David's saying. He should have caused like 3 holding calls and a block in the back. Just on the plays I showed. There's probably more in the second half I didn't even show yet. He got a super high grade from PFF. He totally schooled the guys left and right in front of him. Nobody else did anything. Is that his fault? He got screwed. If he wouldn't have been getting held, he probably would have had a sack or 2. And he also
3.
played great. He played really good against the run. Got off the block.
He might have got a game ball. Damn.
I think he should get a game ball from watching the film. Watch the film back, you see why he was so good and why he got such a good PFF grade. But because he has no stats, people think he didn't do anything. Or they think he ran past. He beats this guy, but he doesn't make a play. Devontae Wyatt sucks. Wrong! Devontae Wyatt, sound of it, Italy. Next week, though. All right, that's enough.
Whew.
That's enough drunk farts.
It's good. Lastly, JJ brings it up. Sorry, JJ. We got to get to the Bucks here as well. Did you happen to hear about this? Giannis sets the franchise record, breaks Michael Redd. No longer is Michael Redd the scoring.
Thank the Lord. You know my opinion on Michael Redd.
Only because, well, no, he got it before they went out, but they took the starters out, and then the Pacers scrubs hit like 3 threes and whatever and closed the gap from 20 to like 9. And so then Adrian Griffin brought the starters back in, and that's why Giannis scored more points, because otherwise he left the game with 58. Then he came back in and scored 6 more points. But did you hear about the craziness? Did you see it? So the Bucks lit them up. You know, they lost to the Pacers in the tournament thing, but then they were killing them last night and doing their thing. However, one of these Pacer chumps took the ball or whatever, and Giannis was pissed. Ran to the Pacers locker room, wanted to get the ball.
See, but apparently the actual real game ball was taken by Buck official guy, someone at the Bucks. I saw it on Facebook today. Yeah.
Well, you can't believe everything you see on Facebook, but I will say, did you find out? So everybody thought Giannis was freaking out because he wanted the ball for himself. Is that what that? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Because he had the 64-point game and all that and the Bucks record, but he was freaking out because he wanted the ball for Damian Lillard because Lillard got the 5th most threes of all time in the history of the league and blah, blah, blah during that game. So he's
still behind Ray though, right?
I think so. But he actually wanted the ball for his teammate, not for himself, because that's who Giannis is. He destroys him. He leaves the game. His coach says, get back in the game because now they're making it too tight. So then he goes and destroys him again. And he's just a monster. And he hit a bunch of free throws last night. That's why he should probably keep the ball for that reason. But anyway.
He should. And then bring that ball every time because apparently that's the only one he can shoot free throws with.
Like that. Anyway, Bucks lit him up last night, beat the Pacers. It was good. And a lot of people are hungry for a Pacers Bucks playoff matchup series because they think that'd be fun.
I don't think it'd be fun. I think the Pacers apparently just made a trade today for like an enforcer type guy.
Oh, well, I will tell you, Tyrese Halliburton, so the Pacers point guard and, best whatever, highest touted player. He played in Sacramento before and was on a crappy team, and then he got traded to the Pacers. He's from Oshkosh. And Oliver Shankton, who Rick and I went to school with, who was one of our classmates in our grade, taught young Halliburton back in his middle school days. Maybe coached him at basketball. I don't know for sure. But they still follow him to this day. And the Shanktons go watch him play in Indiana sometimes. They watch him play when he plays in Milwaukee. They have a good relationship with Tyrese Halliburton, superstar basketball player who's from Oshkosh West High School, and Oliver Shankton's middle school, wherever the hell that was. So just a heads up. All the ties that bind Algoma people to professional athletes, like we talked about a couple weeks ago with Al Johnson, with Casey Robach, with Jim Flanagan, who kicked Ben's ass one time at track.
Yeah, track was pretty bad. He outweighed me by 100 pounds and still beat me in the sprint. Pretty sad, actually.
Oh, shoot. We'll finish with predictions. But before we get to that, dang it, you guys got to watch. Lucas Patrick was mic'd up.
Dude. No, we aren't watching
up.
13 minutes of Lucas Patrick mic'd up.
We're not going to watch. No, I'm not saying we're going to watch all that. I'm just showing everybody that it's there.
Fine.
You need to go out and watch it. Lucas
really
Patrick mic'd up, showing how much of a leader he could have been for the Packers on a team that sorely needs a leader on offense. He could have been that guy. Instead, we have Josh Myers instead of Lucas Patrick.
That's a problem. I'd rather have Lucas than Myers. That's true.
Well, hell yeah, you would. Anyway, get to your score predictions. David's afraid to make it because
I'm not making one.
Last week we all picked the Packers, even Viking Mo, and
I'm not doing it anymore.
They lost. You're not going to do it anymore. Everybody loves score predictions. They all love score predictions. What is it?
No, I ain't doing it. I'm done. My prediction is we're going to get bakered. I don't have a score. Prediction. I don't have a score, but we're getting bakered.
17-14?
No.
Can you riddle me this, Batman, from the last game? Just one last question. Why were the Packers in a rush with 2.5, 3 minutes to go?
I don't know. It wasn't 2.5, 3 minutes to go. It was like a minute and 50 seconds, and they had the ball.
They were running no huddle. They were
running no huddle. They not only that, they were passing the ball instead of running it with plenty of time.
Getting out of bounds.
It was dumb. They took no time off the clock before they scored that touchdown.
I did anyone ask Matt LaFleur about why they did that?
No one asked that either.
What the?
Because these reporters don't look past their noses. So all they saw was the defense gave up the last field goal. What's the problem with that? And Keyshawn Nixon fumbled twice on the punt and blah blah. It's crap like that. And why did you have so many reverses? You had 27 reverses or end arounds and whatever. I mean, I don't know. He did have way too many end arounds. Too much Jaden Reed for me. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. When they asked Matt LaFleur about the end arounds, so many end arounds, he said that that play is either an end around or a handoff, and the quarterback has the discretion on that, which means he's blaming Jordan Love for the reason why there were so many end arounds. Matt LaFleur is doing some major blame deflecting this year, like major blame deflecting.
He learned from Aaron Rodgers. Damn.
Yeah. Okay. He learned something. He learned. Rick, starting to,
Rick says he outweighs you by 100 pounds. Could beat you in a sprint.
I don't know. I'm pretty fast, Rick.
You're quick, but not fast. JJ says, after last week, he's not sure. He thinks Packers bounce back, though. He's going to give the Packers the nod. 17-10 Pack. Another high-scoring affair. The Raiders score 0 points and then score 65 points. Whatever it was, 63 points. Giannis scored 64. The Raiders scored 63. And
Giannis beat the Raiders then.
There you go. And Devontae only caught one touchdown out of those 63 points. That's pretty good.
Really?
17-10. Yeah, and it
I
wasn't
thought
even
he was
thrown
the
by
most
Aiden
dominated
O'Connell.
player that Aaron Rodgers ever played with.
He had to
He only
catch
scored-
a trick play from the receiver, threw it to him
Oh
on
my
a trick
God.
play. Yeah, that's how he got his touchdown. He gets
He's so dominant. He needs a trick play just to score.
so dominant in the red zone.
Aaron Rodgers said he was the most dominant player he ever.
Damn it, David. And Aaron Rodgers played with Charles Woodson, who then questioned
That
him.
was the dumbest freaking comment he ever made.
He also played with I think Tremont's more dominant than Devontae Adams.
I think, yeah.
Other receivers he played with, Jordan Nelson was more dominant than Devontae Adams. Anyway,
Yeah.
whatever.
Greg Jennings.
God dang it. David says Packers lose by 2. No, David, don't say that. Don't say that.
He's talking last week they lost by 2. That's all he's saying.
I think he's predicting it. I think it's his prediction.
I think they get bakered.
JJ wants him to go easy on the jet sweeps. Well, you got to tell Jordan Love that, according to Matt LaFleur.
Yep.
I'm going to say the Packers win. I don't believe a lot in the defense getting turnovers because that's not what they do. These guys are not heads up. Eric Stokes maybe comes back. He's also not heads up. Jair comes back ever again. He doesn't get turnovers. So unless they put Rudy Ford on the field, I don't have a lot of faith in turnovers. So you can't take advantage of some of the plays Baker will give you. So it's probably going to be kind of low scoring. So I'll say 14-12, Packers win. 14-12. That's all we get.
I know AJ Dillon's got a broken thumb, and Aaron Jones always fumbles when he plays Tampa Bay.
God dang it. Broken thumb. How's he? What are we going to do at running back here? What are we doing? Dad has a lot of faith. He says
Kenyon Drake is going to play.
Kenyon Drake, lead dog at running back? Okay.
Yeah, because Patrick Taylor's an idiot, so we can't play him.
David points out.
You know that Patrick Taylor was not aware of how much time there was in the game when he was
Is that what
playing.
he said?
That's what he said. He said he needs to work on his time management in the game.
Come on.
He did not. He was unaware that he needed to get out of bounds. How long has that guy been playing football? He must be a complete moron.
Most of his life.
I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing? All right. I got to go to bed. I got to work at 5 a.m. Let's go.
JJ says Drake is going to have a big game. We'll see about that, JJ. AJ Dillon.
That's all they got left.
They don't have many running backs. They might have to call Ryan Grant out of retirement.
No.
You never know.
Call Dorsey.
Dorsey's a little too old.
Dorsey's got to be, what, 56, 58 by now?
He's pretty old, man. He's pretty old. Maybe it'll be like that one game where they don't have any running backs left, and then you just line up some wideouts at running back, or who knows what happens. We'll see.
I don't know.
Enjoy the game. It's a nooner this time. Enjoy your nooner. Packers win. We hope. Because if they do win, they got a good shot at the playoffs. But one game at a time, one play at a time. Focus on what's in front of you. Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers. JJ McQuaid puts it, go Pack, go. You guys have a great weekend. We'll catch you next week. And thanks for hanging out. Thanks for talking with us. Thanks for being a Packer fan.
Mr. Happy, did I treat you? Got to find